Welcome back to Come and Brew It Radio, coming to you from Texas Brewing Inc. in Haltom City, Texas. You can find us on the web at txbrewing.com and be sure to follow us on Facebook and share with your friends.
In this episode, we have the guys from the Collective Brewing Project back in the studio after over just a year ago. Since their last visit to update us on what's been happening at the brewery, tell us about their new barrel program, and if have time to help us develop a recipe that'd be good for putting it in your own barrels, or perhaps start your own Solera project with whatever you have. Sorry there.
Got to put it somewhere.
Yeah, I've been putting something somewhere for a while now. But anyway, just a reminder that we have a large variety of wood additions for your beer. That includes all ranges of oak and gets out as far as cedar. So get you some.
Hell yeah.
I'm Stubby.
I'm Mikey B.
I'm Pete.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Mike.
And that's James.
That's James.
Hi.
And there's Greg over there.
Hi,
What's up, Greg?
All right, man. So we have some of our good friends here from the Collective Brewing Project tonight, and we're going to sit down and have a few beers with these guys, talk about what's been going on in their life and their brewery, I guess, and all that good stuff. So, Ryan, Mike, who would like to go first? Just tell us kind of what's going on in the brewery right now.
We're making a lot of beer.
Eat it.
Oh, talk
there
right
you
into here.
Put it in your face.
Sorry.
You got to go right into there.
It's
like-
natural
Just go down
reaction.
on it.
I need the horse blinders so I don't try and look at you guys.
Hey.
Anyway, yeah, so we are making a lot of beer. Our sour program's kind of coming into its own right now, so we've put out quite a bit of bottles since the last time we were out here. We launched a bottle project. We're working on expanding to a new facility. We're bottling a lot of beer. We just signed a statewide distribution deal. We're doing a lot of stuff. So
Awesome. Fantastic. Well, so tell us a little bit about, I know that you guys, when you were here last, you guys had started up the barrel program and stuff of that nature. I know that you've got some recent additions to your brewery since the last time we talked to you with the fooder. Kind of explain to us maybe what you're doing with that and what you guys' plans are for the future.
yeah, so we got, I guess it was September of 15 was a 20-barrel Fooder Crafters Fooder, American Oak. It's a beautiful, beautiful tank. We filled it like right before we went to the GABF, and we inoculated it with our house culture. It's a golden wort, and then we kind of treat it like a Solera. So we pull and we rack into smaller wine format barrels, 59-gallon types, and that's kind of driven the bulk of our sour program. So our things like Wood Folk that we've done, our Dream Folk, which is coming out in a couple weeks, which is our Dreamsicle version of that beer. And some other things. So we've added that. We've added some totes that we kind of treat like a fooder and kind of do the same. Could kind of call it a Solera technique and not pulling the entire volume each time we make it. So, yeah.
So is that kind of like your baseline sour, and then you're blending it back with other things, or?
Yeah, we're doing. The golden is our baseline sour. We also have like our petite golden, which is a completely different technique, the whole thing. We're adding fruit to the golden sour, and we have we treat the red the same way that we have in a tote. Kind of pulling, racking into smaller format barrels, and adding either bourbon barrels, wine barrels, fruits, whatever.
That's that American Red.
American Sour Red is that's actually a different one.
Uh-huh.
We have a lot of irons in the fire, so to speak. So
Gotcha.
yeah, we kind of go with a drift on the fooder, control it with temperature, hopping rate, mash schedule, stuff like that. If it's starting to get too acidic or out of balance, so we can kind of dial it back, but it's kind of a long feedback feedback loop.
Do you want to describe some of those beers that you mentioned, like Woodfolk and whatnot, for people who may not have ever seen them?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, he's pointing. He wants to drink some.
We should drink the Dream Folk.
Okay, we can drink the drink.
Oh, far out. Let's do
Okay,
that.
I'm gonna
This is not drink.
kind of poke the bear and say, so how did you guys decide that you wanted to go sour? What was the inspiration behind going with the sour brewery?
It was James and the Warheads.
That was just how we met.
Basically, tell us about that story, and then how you learned to do that, coming from the homebrew side to the commercial scale.
It's something we've always wanted to do. James, these are unmarked. These are both sweet.
Both
There's
Dream
a Dream Folk. It's something we always wanted to do, and we kind of some of the models for starting a brewery that are out there didn't really exist when we started up, so we felt we needed to make a pale ale and a porter and a what else did we make? Kolsch for like all of 2 months.
You guys made a Kolsch?
We did. We called it Fantastikolsch.
Oh, okay.
It was fantastic.
Kind of sounds like testicle, but
Fantasticals.
We also have a beer named Mustache Ride, so Testicles won't be too far off. So yeah, it's something we'd always wanted to do. We kind of started experiencing those types of beer while we were homebrewing, and it just piqued my interest as a brewer a little bit more than kind of cranking out the same pale ale or IPA recipe 1,000 times in a year. So
Did you do any souring as homebrewers?
not much, no. I have a really bad sour red. I know. I think we actually finally dumped it. Yeah. No, we kind of learned most of what we were doing in the production brewery.
Oh,
so.
cool.
And the
So
brewer
was
advice.
a lot of trial and error?
A bit, yeah. Like Petite Golden Sour, our first little kind of faster turn sour,
Which is fantastic.
Thank you. Not a kettle sour, but it is
Love that
a
beer.
shorter process than most of our wood folk that comes from the fooder. That was originally a Goza, and we kind of took a hard ride on that when everybody started making Gozas. And so we learned most of what we did, and I kind of felt like it was easier to learn that stuff. Some of the techniques like excluding oxygen or maintaining temperatures and things like that were just easier for us at the commercial scale than at home.
There's something Stubby's been looking into, excluding oxygen.
yeah, we got supposedly
Completely different.
Yeah, it's a
recipe.
completely different thing that we're going to try some different techniques on. It's that whole age old what is it, hot side aeration, but taken to a whole new level.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see. It's always controversial if you ever say hot side aeration. So, but the theory on this is basically it is totally like it starts at the very beginning, the minute you put your grains in the mash. I mean, or in the mash water or your strike water. So. We'll play with it a little bit. We're gonna get a DO meter and do some experimentation. So anyway, but I think those are very interesting things to think about. So when you guys actually started, you were just were you just going to do a small brewery and then decided to go, or is that always in the business plan to be a sour beer brewery?
It was always kind of part of the plan. We didn't know exactly how kind of big the program would get, and it kind of grew to be bigger than the clean side of the brewery. So, you can speak to that a little better, Mike.
Yeah, mainly because of the time.
Get right up in there.
Because of the time
There
frames.
you go.
I don't want to block Ryan's face with the mic.
Nobody
black
wants to see
thing?
my face.
No, I guess it really takes the time that it takes to do all these beers. We have some that were going for a year and 9 months, and you can't really sit on beer that long without selling something. So some of the first beers were stuff to get us going, get us rolling, while the sour program kind of started getting developed. And now most of those barrels are starting to come to fruition, and we're able to put those out. So we have a bunch of new bottle releases coming in the first 6 months of this year, more than we had all of last year. So
Yeah.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Kind of that distillery mentality. You got to age stuff for a while, so you got to pump something else out
Yeah.
in the meantime.
Yeah.
and we
Fill
still
that
and we still
pipeline.
we still love all the beers that we do on that side, but it's one of those, like Ryan said, who wants a pale ale from a sour brewery.
Yeah. Well, let me ask
Yeah.
you this. So when you're putting this stuff into these different barrels, are they the final beer, or are you using different ones and then blending them back to make different things later on, or
Yes.
like
Both.
beer A, B, and C, and then B and C makes this beer, and B and A make. I mean, is it something of that nature, or is it like the final product that's in that particular?
We've done
barrel?
a little bit of both. Like,
Okay.
some of our fruited petite golden variants, like the raspberry and apricot, we did make the beer, put it in the barrel with the fruit, take the beer out, like chose the choice barrels and dump what we had to, and blend it that way. So that was pretty well a finished beer when it went in.
A variant on that is we put Woodfolk in the second use blackberry barrels, blackberry PGS barrels, which made Bramblefolk
Yeah.
as a different beer.
That's
Okay.
another one. So
Cool.
yeah, we just kind of mix and match the techniques. Like we've done whiskey mango petite golden sours, bourbon barrel aged, and then re-fermented in stainless. So we did fruit outside of wood, and sometimes we've done fruit in wood. Sometimes we've had a finished Brett beer that we thought was going to be done in bourbon barrels, and then we decided to re-ferment it in steel with fruit, and we've done all sorts of stuff with it. So
Well, the only reason I was asking that is because when you go into you guys' place, it's I know it's busting at the seams at this point, but
that's an understatement.
I was just curious as to the fact, if you had barrels that were dedicated for certain things, because I didn't really realize, if this particular beer was just for whatever beer A,
Yeah.
and you're turning that out every time, or beer B might go in barrel,
Yeah, we do that with
you know what I mean. So you guys
yeah.
use the barrels for numerous different things in it. Sounds
Yeah, like we every year we buy fresh red wine barrels, like first use.
Okay.
And we make American Sour Red with that. So it's
Okay.
steel fermented for a while, and then we do the bulk of the barrel aging is strictly for wine character and acid development.
Okay.
And
And
that-
then you might use it for something else later on.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've used them we've rinsed them and used them for our golden base, our mixed culture red base. So
Okay.
yeah, we do kind of different uses and double uses.
The Urban Funk
Yeah.
House, those barrels were ever since the beginning. We only had a few from the beginning, I think 4, and then we started pulling on more and more, and now it's up to 14. And what we'll do anytime we're going to do once a quarter release of Urban Funk House, we'll sit down, try all 14 barrels. These guys really have the notes and everything to it. I just sit there and drink it. But taste every single
Nothing
barrel,
wrong with that.
get all the characteristics from it, and then decide to blend however many, 3, 4 barrels, just to come up with, more beer. Just to come up with what we decide to bottle for that time.
All right.
The most recent, or the past release, which is out right now, Blend 7, was about 6 month old, give or take, from the different barrels, average of about 6 month. This one, I'm not really sure because we haven't released it yet.
The average age of the barrels,
Of the current one that's aging right now, it's about to be released.
I did not bother.
Is that what we're
Yeah.
drinking now? Is that
Classified.
This is the.
We've kind of lost notes on some of those barrels. It's really just a taste now. Like that's basically what we've gotten down to. Is just, does it taste good? Yes. Does it taste bad? Yeah. So which one do we want to use? The good one. That sounds easy.
Yeah.
Kind of the way Lauren Salazar. I know they've got tons of notes on theirs, but she's like, oh yeah, I just taste it, and I
Yeah.
just go, yep, that's good.
No, the question, what you're drinking now is Dream Folk.
Okay.
This is the Fooder Fantasy line of beers. It is a vanilla citrus, tastes like a sour dreamsicle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I get that.
And Ryan can
That's,
give you more detailed.
Yeah, that one. So this is a bit shorter, I think. This is maybe only 9 months old at this point, because we pulled this directly from the fooder. So we pulled it from the fooder, in one of our wine totes that we've got. Those are great, cheap utility vehicles or vessels.
I guess you could drive them around with a forklift, maybe.
That'd be cool. Would break stuff though.
Right on.
So we racked, straight out of the foeder when it was fairly young, probably only about 2 months old, from brew day, and we had a pretty good acidity level to it, but not much Brett character, which is kind of what we were going for with this beer. And then we added a bunch of orange zest and vanilla bean paste and let it ride for a while. Kind of let it hang out in the foeder, and that's what you have before you hear. So this is
fantastic.
Good stuff, man.
It's wood barrel aged, kind of foeder aged
Ish.
for a short amount of time. So, we like a lot of wood character in our beers, and there's something to be said for extended aging and the smaller format and stuff, especially since we only have one foeder for the rest of this next month.
Right.
But there's also, something to be said about a shorter turn using, mixed culture when it's on the young side. I don't think that that's a.
So what you're
done
telling
too
us
often.
is you really like the wood?
I do love the wood. I love the wood.
Loves wood.
It's the first thing my wife would tell you about me.
And what he meant by the only foeder we have for the rest of the month is next month we have 3 new French foeders coming in.
From Cognac.
30 hectoliter foeders.
They say, what
Yeah.
size are they?
30 hectoliters, about 24 and a half barrels,
Nice.
roughly.
Okay, so what are we drinking here? That's
This
good.
is Funky Thunder.
Oh, okay. That's
If
nice.
you had the Tropic Thunder or Green Tea Saison, this is take the Saison yeast out and replace it with Brett.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's our light kind of utility Saison. I really enjoyed drinking a lot of Cody's
River House.
River House. Yeah, River House.
Okay.
I just, I like a light Pilsner malt based Saison. So that's originally how this started. Before we opened, we made like a 5%, just kind of easy drinking Saison, and I wanted another beer to open with, and I had a pound of tea burning a hole in my pocket. So we dry hopped it with a tea and produced Tropic Thunder,
Bless you.
and then never made the base beer after that. So
It's funny you talk about the River House along with that. Those are the only 2 Saisons I really like to drink are River House and the Tropic Thunder.
Oh, nice.
Well, one of the things I notice about this versus the Tropic Thunder, it has a lot less bitterness than what your typical.
Yeah, I think the benefit of using Brett in this is it can actually play with those tannins, whereas Saccharomyces can't really touch that.
Right.
I think you get another
That's tasty.
almost creamy layer.
Yeah, it makes it a lot more quaffable.
Oh, yeah.
To me,
Very,
it's
very
just
mellow.
like really easy to
Very
drink
drinkable
and
beer.
very refreshing for
Well,
sure.
Especially for the Brett character. I mean, it's pretty
It's kind of
Pretty
subdued,
good.
a little fruity.
Pretty mild, pretty
really
mild.
Pretty mild.
Yeah.
The tea we use has it's a blend of Japanese green tea, mango, and jasmine. So it's kind of on the fruity end, and then you stick Brett on it and
Just
treat it well.
Throw some bread on it.
Yeah.
You'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, throw some bread on it.
We
Right.
love that saying. You can fix anything with Brett.
So when you guys started your barrel program, I mean, how does that program evolve? I mean, how do you go and you go, okay, well, I'm going to do this, and these barrels are going to be here, or is it just kind of an evolutionary process of, and it just kind of builds on itself, I guess, right?
Pretty much. It involved a lot of we picked one technique with the wood folk and the foeder and kind of ran that direction and hoped it worked, and it did. So we just kind of kept tweaking it, and then the other part of the process is me begging Mike for money to buy more barrels so we can fill the place up. So it's a lot.
It's pretty filled up, dude.
Yeah.
All that begging paid off, I guess. Huh?
Yeah. We have let's see.
He never asked for extra storage space. That was the
Yeah,
guy.
that's where I messed up.
Yeah.
Snap.
So
I'll totally feel you on that.
yeah, we'll have 70 small format barrels, 8 puncheons, and 4 foeders by March 1st.
Okay.
Can you
So-
tell us about how many gallons each one of those are?
59 for the small format, other than the whiskey, other
And
than
then
the
well,
whiskey.
it's a puncheon is what? How many?
Punchin's 132.
Yeah, okay. All right, cool.
Yeah.
And then
So do
20
you guys
barrel
use
fruiter.
those bigger formats for different style beers, or the bigger format like the puncheons for something else, or?
Yeah. So two of the puncheons are actually part of the Urban Funkhouse Saison program. They actually hold each one. When we started that whole deal, we had a 3.5 barrel fermenter. So we just kind of brewed into one barrel and did our second brew into the other barrel. They got the original inoculations for two different strains. I think one was from East Coast Yeast. It was a Brett Saison blend, and then the other one was Saccharomyces from White Labs, and then it's been contaminated happily and intentionally. And so we have those, and then the other 6 were from some of our first attempts with some East Coast yeast bugs on some sour red, sour brown, and golden sour that just kind of went nail polishy on us. So we've recently dumped those and chemically treated them, and they're now holding a storage solution waiting for our cool ship beers. from this season.
Cool.
Now,
Cool shit.
So that's something. Tell us about some of the new equipment you got, and new toys and all that stuff. I know you got some new toys.
Yeah, we've got.
Yeah, I got a laptop mount in my Jeep, so I can do sales better.
We have James.
You got James.
Oh, nobody. Sorry, nobody cares about me doing
Boy
sales.
toy.
Okay.
Everybody cares about you, Mike.
No, we got the cool ship in, and
15 barrels.
15 barrel
The
cool
cool
ship.
ship is
So-
cool shit.
Looking for that right day when
But-
it actually gets cold, where we can utilize it.
So are you guys hanging that from the ceiling? Because really, where are you putting that thing?
We figured it was so big and heavy that we just leave it on the back patio and nobody's stolen it yet.
There you
Seriously,
Nice.
we were wheeling it in and out every day, and then James's back went out. And
It was way too heavy to get off the truck easily that I'm pretty convinced if anyone wanted to steal it, it would be like a 4-hour ordeal trying to get it off the back dock. So it just sits on the back dock now.
yeah, it's.
I've
fair.
actually
It's
actually
safe-ish.
had the pleasure of getting stuff off of your back dock. That's
Yeah, you have.
it's not fun.
And putting stuff
putting it in.
putting
All
stuff in our
So
back.
for the folks out there that don't know what a cool ship is, it's an open fermentation vessel. It's nice and shallow. Anchor uses those for several of their beers. Most of the Belgian breweries that are doing lambics are doing cool ships with open big bay windows to let all the yeast from the valleys get in there. And
Yeah, we're gonna
you're-
let
you're-
the yeast from East Lancaster Avenue.
right. Yeah. And so yours is what size?
I like that opener,
It's
bro.
15.
It's 15.
15 barrel.
Yeah, we're actually gonna travel with ours.
So you really want to get a yeast infection? That's what you're saying.
Where do I get one of those? That's killer.
Yes, we're gonna put it on we're gonna put it on a truck and with some barrels, drive it out overnight,
Yeah.
and camp out for the night.
We
Oh.
use
So we have a question on the Facebook feed. They want to know what kind of chemical solution you're using to clean your barrels.
it's ProxiClean.
Kick ass.
So if you want anything
birthday.
for your barrels, I recommend Barrel Builders out of Napa. That's
Okay.
who we get most of our stuff from. That's who I got the ProxiClean
Badass.
from. So
And what's your
Okay.
storage solution? Just because that might be a follow up.
our storage solution is the citric acid potassium metabosulfite. We use the ratio that Jay from the Rare Barrel suggests, which is in the Milk the Funk wiki. That thing is invaluable.
Yeah, for sure. And
Okay.
we're even lucky enough to have some stuff on there. Believe it or not,
Yeah.
as
That's awesome.
as bad as we are at sour beers. But anyway,
So how many of the beers do you sit down and say this is the direction we're going to go, versus you just kind of stumble upon?
We were actually talking about how I design beers. James and I were. It's fairly simple, and we've stumbled on a couple of them, like Tropic Thunder. We've stumbled on our Brett Smashy, which is our 100% Brett IPA smash beer.
And we have that here.
Oh, wow.
We have that. That was a taproom project because we had a bunch of Maris Otter laying around after a stout brew day, and just we had Brett laying around and Columbus laying around, so we did it. Now it's one of our beers. But some of them are
Coming to bottle soon.
Yeah, coming to bottle soon. Some of them are based on like I always kind of draw from childhood memories. That's my mom's favorite popsicle was the Dream Folk. I had tons of those growing up. So that's Dreamsicles. So that's where Dream Folk came from. I was drunk in San Diego when we came up with our ramen goza.
That's ramen noodle, if anybody was kind of concerned of what that was.
Ramen noodles is delicious, and it's coming back this summer.
What
Bottle
flavor?
and draft.
What flavor? Ramen. Shrimp.
No.
Shrimp.
The first day we brewed it, we had to open up 288 of those Maruchan ramen noodles packages, and we put them in the mash. So we treated it like a wheat edition. And so we had a ton of those seasoning packets. I got some really crazy looks at Walmart. But then we added one of those shrimp packets to the mash tun, just one, and I thought we killed it. Just shrimp smell everywhere in the brewery.
Nice.
It's very potent.
Yeah. So thankfully, it didn't taste like shrimp.
That's hilarious.
Now that might have been interesting if it did, though. Shrimp beer.
Yeah. Laura,
I don't think it would be good, though.
it did taste like it smelled and tasted like refried beans at one point, like straight out of a can. And that's one of those. It was one of those moments where you're like, you gotta have a little faith in your sour beer for it to evolve. And thank God it did. But Lauren Salazar tasted it when she was in town for the Forts of Funk event that we did, the Funk Sour Symposium.
Right.
And she's like, oh, okay, it made enough of an impression. She mentioned it on Good Beer Hunting, like, oh yeah, they tried it, it's cool.
That's awesome.
But she didn't get to try the whole,
Not the finished product.
The real thing.
Okay. That was a fun event. We actually had those guys in here, and they were. It was really funny because they had really told us a lot about different barrels and different characters from each barrel, and they had each of them named and what they expected from each barrel, and after a while, they actually got really good at learning how to blend, from and what they expected from, and then it's even gone a step further where the fooders, have different flavors and different aromas and all of that good stuff. So
each kind of starts to develop their own personality. So
that was my lunch that day. I decided to just scoop up the mash and eat the noodles right out of the mash tun when we were
Did
doing
you add
that.
They're trying to show it to you on.
Did
on
you
the
add
air,
the
but-
shrimp flavoring to it?
No. I just ate it straight like that. It was pretty delicious actually though.
it was
The only problem with that beer too was we were digging noodles out of that mash tun. Like I'd find them like 2 days later. I kept finding like little stringy things hanging around. And I was like, what is this?
I can't wait to order a pallet of ramen noodles this summer. It's gonna be great.
Hilarious.
It makes you wonder if you couldn't just get them in bulk without all the packaging and all that other stuff.
That'd be nice, but
A
they're
bale
so-
of ramen.
They're so damn
yeah.
cheap anyway,
then I won't have an excuse to hire a ramen intern. So
Oh, finally.
So do you think that ramen noodle does it actually convert at all, or?
we hit our numbers. I did the whole thing, the whole calculation based on wheat, and we were like half a degree Plato off. So
Okay, that's not
we were,
bad then.
We were really close.
So it actually did convert it into some sugar then, huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
And we
wow.
didn't even. I mean, I figured we didn't need to do a cereal mash because it's, you're essentially just steeping pre-cooked noodles. So, we just added it. I don't know. I get drunk and think of these things every now and then.
Right. Well, we think of a lot of fun stuff to do, but we don't do them.
Yeah. Well, we forget about more than we.
That's how Mike and I started a brewery. We got really drunk at the GABF and we're like, hey, we should do this.
Hey.
And then like a week later, I was like, oh yeah, we're never going to do that.
Is
And
there
then,
any resemblance here? I'm just wondering.
Is that Rick?
This
from
is
Rick and Morty?
ICP,
Oh.
right? It's a Jugaloo, man.
Yeah,
It looks like
very
the
close.
hatchet. I don't know.
His doesn't have a bottle opener.
You're
on
a
it.
Jugaloo?
It doesn't have a ball opener. No, I'm not. But
No.
I know some people who are.
I'm gonna need that back before you keep it.
Oh no, I thought it was for me.
No.
Well, I'm gonna need one of those. I'm
This
just
was my
saying.
Christmas gift from Ryan. I'm never getting rid of this thing.
No, I thought those were giveaways from the brewery.
I thought it was a gimme.
Sweet.
I'd already put my scent on it and everything.
You mean your stank?
By
Yeah.
the way, in your glass, I think is
This is Brett Smashy. Yeah.
Brett Smashy and the American Sour
We
Red.
just had American
Yeah.
Sour Red,
Yeah, American Sour Red. That's the second version of
Pass the rolate.
it.
Tum.
And then Brett Smashy. The Brett Smashy you're drinking now is with Galaxy hops.
So you're doing
It's a rotator series.
Okay.
The first bottle that'll come out is Columbus. Simcoe is in the tanks right now.
So you guys are using Galaxy quite a bit. Are you guys doing a contract on those?
Not anymore. No contract, but we're not using it really much anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not? Okay.
Because of that.
We DC'd our Pale Galaxy beer, so
Oh, okay.
these were just leftovers from that. Like,
okay, because I'm going to say we were having a hard time getting it.
Mhm.
So.
Galaxy on the secondary spot market was like $30 a pound.
Woo!
So
Man.
no, thank you.
Yeah,
Wow.
they've like cut us down to like what, 2 pounds a month
Something
or
like
something
that.
stupid like that. It's
Wow.
like, come on.
Got to get those Australian hop growers to start.
Well,
dedicating
it's
more
funny
acreage.
because we
That or
have
just
gotten to where
bribe
we're
some
doing.
customs agents or something. I don't know. There's got to be some way around that.
Yeah,
So-
I feel like we could do that.
You guys, we've
all the
actually
extra money.
we've actually started a division, of the store, to sell directly to breweries, and we were able to get a lot of stuff directly, but man, the Australian guys are kind of stingy.
Well,
they,
if you
they
sa-
want
if
us
you
to go
save
through
up-
one person, and then they're like, nope, we already have our distributors. We don't want to sell to you guys.
If you save up
Yeah.
those 2 pounds for about a year, we'll take them.
You're right.
And we'll
So-
do one batch.
What's the base of your of the Brett Smashy?
It is Thomas Fawcett Maris Otter.
Nice.
Nice malt.
100%.
Mhm.
Yeah, we like that one a lot.
Yeah. I know there's another brewery in town that's using that too. So
Who's
it's
using
pricey, but it's good stuff though.
And then Brett Brooks and Brett Lambicus.
Brett Brooks and Brett Lambicus.
Yeah, we ran short one day and decided we liked the mix better.
Yeah.
So this is delicious.
Kind of rounds it out a little bit for sure. So
Yeah,
It's not interesting nose.
Lambicus can be a little rough.
yeah, I think so too. I like Brooks, me personally. But,
Yeah, I think so.
Me too.
But we've
Rough,
have you guys
tasty.
have you guys
Challenging.
ever done any Brett C
Yeah, it's gonna
stuff?
be challenging to the palate a little bit. What's that?
Have you used any Brett C at all?
We've yes, way back in the day, and I think it was some of your homebrew that
No.
what was the Brett C with.
The Brett C we used was on the very first time we ever did the blueberry sour, the blueberry PGS. We decided to go Brett C on that one whenever we did it because we had it, and
Did we?
because you
I
were
never
just
really
basically
drank
like we
that.
bought it to use on something, we couldn't figure out what to do with it, and then that day when we did it, it was kind of like, well, let's pitch the Brett C on here, see what it does,
Yeah,
and that was the one that got down to like a 2.88 on the pH meter. It basically was like not readable anymore because it was so acidic. It was just like I don't know what to do anymore.
Well, it's funny because we've used that in a Belgian pale ale, and we did 10 gallons and then split it out and did Brett Brooks on one and Brett C on the other, and I really liked it.
it can
a
go
lot
really
better.
really fruity.
Yeah, it added like some stone fruit character, and it was really nice. I don't know if it would be better. I think it was just well suited for that particular style. So
Yeah, there very well could be some Brett C in some of the Urban Funk House barrels, because we use a lot of the East Bay stuff, and he's kind of hush hush about his
blend or whatever.
his Bretts. Yeah, so and they all
Doesn't he
tend
have-
to skew fruity. So
He has like just all the Bretts
yeah,
mix.
I think that's in at least 2 of the barrels.
And they're fantastic, by the way.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
East
they're
Bay
really good.
stuff has been like the best Brett quality stuff we've brewed with, and I've brewed with it at home. Anything like I love it way more than anything else I've ever used. I like the Fruity Brett Express like characters and stuff.
what?
It's
say that again real quick.
the Fruity Brett expressive characters.
Okay.
What
I
do you
thought he said
think?
the Fruity Brett Express.
I was like, what is
Fruity Express too. Yeah, however you want to do it. It's like
the hell is
you know.
that?
He is on
New
the fruity.
beer, Fruity Bread Express.
There you go.
There you go.
You better, you know what? You better put a copyright on
Better
that
lock that
right
down.
now. Right?
It's already,
Right
it's
this
already
second.
trademarked.
Yeah,
I just
It's
did.
already taken.
Let's design that one after
That
the break.
that can be our
2017.
that can be our beer for the on-air recipe.
Yeah. We'll have to make
I like
that.
it.
Hell yeah.
We have 2 empty tanks.
There you go. Time to now. That's I think that's also what a lot of people are having to do now is they actually have to come up with a name first, make sure it's not trademarked, and then brew the beer.
Naming's the worst part of
Oh,
brewing.
It is the hardest.
It's got to suck. It's got to suck.
Well,
So,
I mean, at some point, can you just get? I mean, can people just go? All right, forget all the names or whatever. Let's just say, hey, this is what it is, and this is by the Collective Brewing Project.
Yeah,
Say,
that's
hey,
why there's a
the-
can sitting right there that says beer to guard.
That's exactly what we talked about 2 days. Yesterday we were talking about that. It was literally just like, so do we just say like Collective Brewing Project, Beer to Guard, Collective Brewing Project, Ramen Beer,
Yeah.
Collective Brewing Project? This because coming up with names is like part of the problem.
Yeah, we were using.
Well, and then it costs you a damn fortune to trademark it. you
Okay,
know?
and let's name the beer to
cost
guard
up to
tonight.
$5,000, right?
Well,
Anybody
yeah.
want to suggest a name for the beer to guard?
Let me get my Wu-Tang Clan generator.
rosemary.
name generator. out.
Rosemary and juniper berries in it.
Thelma.
We can try it.
Yeah.
Well,
Just name it Thelma.
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 That-
Go with the
uh,
Hill
how
How about
Farmstead.
Barry
naming
DeGard? I
scheme.
don't know.
Fantastic Kolsch actually was named by on a Facebook competition.
cool,
Yeah.
Nice.
fantastic,
why we don't brew it
Cool.
No, we've never actually brewed it in commerce.
Yeah, we have.
fantastical.
We never sold it.
Testicle?
No,
I've been to Commerce
it was
before.
test batches only.
We sold it brewed and
Nope.
stuff.
Little Texas town.
Never did.
Was it? What?
Commerce.
No, yeah, we did.
Commerce.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we
Brewed-
did.
I've brewed in Commerce before.
I promise you we did.
What you ought to do is just
I've
go
drank
around
since then.
and pick
What?
names of streets, every street in Fort Worth, and name them your beer.
There we go.
Hey,
Foch.
East
Faux
Lancaster
Street.
Sour.
So it's first, second, third, fourth, fifth, seventh, eighth.
why not? You wouldn't have any trouble.
we were joking about the Wu-Tang Clan name generator, but we actually did pull that out to try and name some beers. Didn't work.
It worked for me and Brandon for our homebrewing stuff. That's how Sarcastic Prophet came about when we do
Yeah.
all the competitions, like at Iron Mash and stuff. It was
Like when you
straight out of the
won?
Wu-Tang.
Y'all actually won something?
Well, no, we competed.
No, that was a competition. That was just a name.
you won something.
They won a participation trophy.
Yeah.
Oh. I remember
I'll
those.
start passing this around.
Yikes.
Okay, so that's
You're a wiener.
the beer to guard. Beer to
No, that is
Oh,
the
man.
hardest. Our porter, rye porter, we had chosen the name Perpetual Darkness, but we had not got the license yet. We hadn't sold it in commerce, and somebody went ahead and trademarked that name. So we
That
had to.
screwed you. Horribly.
Well, actually,
pretty
it
much.
actually worked out better because Ryan came up with Mustache Ride, and it
Yeah.
kind of fit a little
that kind of
better.
works too.
What exactly does that mean? Can you explain that to us?
Yes, it's a rye porter, and it's dark like a mustache.
We went over the rules of conduct before we got on air here. I'm not sure if we're allowed to explain it.
Well thought out, guys. Well thought out.
Yeah, my mom asked me
You
that
can,
same
you, can,
question.
you can mime it.
So when a man loves a woman and a woman loves a man, no.
Please don't sing.
Oh man. So anyway, so what do you guys have in the future? I mean, I know that you guys have kind of hinted about doing something different, or are you ready to release any of this great information?
Everything they
or-
do is different.
No, I'm
Really,
just
I
saying.
mean,
I know they're talking about
different and
expansion and
new
doing some
and-
other stuff.
Cool.
You guys ready to?
Do you want names of beers or
No,
like
just saying,
styles
like
or
styles.
beers?
Well,
Styles.
like Fred.
Styles.
Jimmy?
or
well,
if
we
you're
have,
getting more space?
yeah, we can go into all that. I know the newest beers that we have coming out is Dream Folk. I think next week actually Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday we're having kegs spread out in the market. Ron's Place and Tavern,
Corner?
Bearded Monk, Corner Tavern and Place, both.
Oh,
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 there's a
okay,
corner.
okay. Yeah, there's a
place?
Ron's Place.
Where the hell is that? Oh,
Yeah.
Addison,
same Ryan or different
In
Ryan?
Addison.
Yeah, same
it might
guy.
as well be in a different state if it's in Plano.
Bearded Monk.
No offense to you guys in Plano. I'm just saying that's a long ways.
Or Arkansas.
Does
Right.
this podcast reach Plano?
You'd be surprised. We're actually listened to in 40 different countries, believe it or not.
That's
So,
awesome.
I think Brandon is
cool.
actually in Arkansas tonight, and he's probably listening. So
Yeah, where
Hi,
is Brandon?
he's in
Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Little
Yeah,
bastard.
that bastard. Because I was so looking forward to getting drunk here with him.
Hey, earmuffs.
You can say
bastard.
bastard.
That's
and
okay.
then
Say bastard.
and
That's okay.
Cool Keg and Lone Star Fort Worth. We're doing kegs of Dream Folk, and then we're going to release the actual bottles at the brewery on the 11th of February. Pineapple, Thai basil, Petite Golden Sour, Boysen
Boysen Barrel. It's
Boysen
our
Barrel.
bourbon barrel aged sour red re-fermented with boysenberries.
Yeah, you say boys in the hood or something.
Boys in the barrel.
Oh, Boys in the Barrel.
That's actually
That's
a
even better.
beer name already. Yeah, I saw that today.
What,
but then,
boys in the hood?
Boys in the
Boys,
wood.
yeah,
What if we
Boys
spelled
in
with a Z?
no,
Oh,
No.
Boys.
doesn't work.
You should be a lawyer.
Boys.
We have
What?
another version of Woodfolk coming out that has been aging in barrels for an additional 6 months compared to the last one.
Old
All right.
Old.
folk.
Old wood.
Yeah, we're also working on expanding right now.
That
Limpwood.
too.
So big barrel production
Viagra.
facility.
Blue Bomber. That's what you call your barrel aged.
You call your old wood
Yeah,
blue,
your-
blue bomber, right?
or your blueberry beers, you know.
Yeah.
Blue Bomber.
Expanding, huh?
We
Guys, I'm
digress.
really going to use some of these suggestions today. I think it's... Yeah, we're
There's
we're
some lawyers
expanding-
listening right now. They're
They're writing it down.
taking notes.
So you're gonna name a beer Thelma, huh?
Yeah, we'll name the beer
Thelma.
Thelma and Mikey Brown.
I already have one.
Ah,
Yeah. It's the Mikey Brown Ale.
That Mikey Brown is going to be the most sour beer known to man. I can
Oh,
guarantee you
it
that
be-
one.
it
Is
better
that,
be
is
a-
that what it is? Because I
It better be
guarantee
a
you Mikey Brown is a sour.
grumpy.
That's one bitter
a-hole.
bitch.
Yeah.
sour and bitter.
It's a little bit
right.
different than our. We also had a brown eye PA that we put out last year.
Like EYE.
I like
Wink,
the idea
wink.
of that naming it Mikey Brown because I think it would be the most sour bitter. I'm going to figure out a way to
Yeah,
do the
yeah.
most sour IPA I could possibly think
Yeah.
of in my life.
There
And
you
just
go.
not even do a good one. Just make it bitter and angry.
you going to do that at home?
Yeah. Nice.
I'm going to make it not good. Yeah.
I was with you until that point right there. when you said you were gonna make it bad.
Oh man.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yes, expansion,
Yeah, tell us about it.
Oh, yeah.
bigger building,
Bigger building,
more barrels,
hopefully bigger brew house,
More
definitely
barrels?
more barrels, more fooders.
Whereabouts?
more wood.
Close. We have an offer
More
in
morning.
kind of on a place that's about 17,000 square feet, just 5 minutes south of us. So
Wow,
cool.
17,000.
we're not-
That's a big space.
Do you have the
Yeah,
exact
it's a big
address
space.
so we can go check it out beforehand? Or?
sure,
We
I'll,
do.
I'll tell you.
We have it.
Oh, I'm just kidding.
Go drop
They,
some bombs in there. I mean,
Yeah, you probably
bombs.
open the doors for us so we can get in. No, it'll be a dedicated barrel aging facility, much larger, hopefully brew house, bigger tanks for both sides, the clean and the funky side, an actual dedicated space to do packaging so we don't have to kind of stage everything the night before and get it all ready and then move it out before tap room opens. So
And hopefully that would open up the tap room, give more space there too.
So you plan on keeping the tap room where it's at?
Yes.
we do.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
you
we're,
gonna brew there?
We don't know. Depends on how the brew house goes. Either we'll have two brew houses or we'll get rid of one and just move it to the production facility, and then the current tap room will be kind of a fooder barrel farm. So
Gotcha.
Yeah, but after you
Nice.
put all the drains in and all
well, you'll still need drains around the footers, kind of.
Yeah, you know.
that, I got you. Yeah, but then you have to brew in the heat, dude.
Yeah.
No more brewing in the air conditioning.
Be pitting large.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm just telling you right now, when you lift kegs and you lift sacks of grain, you still sweat whether you're in air conditioning or not. Like, it's still
Oh, yeah,
manual
yeah.
labor.
All the guys from RAR, though, look at him and go,
Shut up.
pansy.
Well, they do that anyway.
It's 150.
That's
true.
And James wasn't there when we were using Homer buckets to put all the grain in on the 3.5 barrel system.
I did it like twice.
Once.
Once.
I remember. It was once.
It was once. Twice. 3 times.
Three
Yeah,
times.
maybe.
Sweet
Triple
times
brew
of
day. That was
Mayday.
the first American Sour Red Brew Day, I think. We made
Awesome.
him do a triple batch.
Somebody's got
Very
a good
suspicious
memory.
too.
Yeah.
Well, hey guys, I think it's a good place to take a quick break. When we come back, I'd really like to talk to you guys about maybe helping some of our guys that are really interested in brewing sour beers, possibly starting doing that at home. Maybe ways to get started, techniques. You know, so James here could probably bleed our ears dry, telling us
Probably
all about
so.
that, right? But anyway, y'all come back, and we'll see you in just a few minutes.
Ah, Dan.
Welcome back.
That was the shortest
Welcome
break
back.
in Come and Brew It radio history. I swear to God.
Probably so.
No, I was
Shortest
being
break with these
sarcastic
guys
here.
anyway.
It definitely wasn't the longest.
No.
I mean,
But
I think we're still sober.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think we're far from that.
Maybe-
I'm never
maybe-
drunk.
Maybe that's just me.
Okay,
Oh,
so
I'm
I'm
just-
never sober.
I've just got the narcotics on board.
So I just want to say I'm really excited right now because Ryan's opening my favorite beer we've ever made.
Oh!
And he has a knife.
Yeah.
He's got a badass
Hey,
knife.
show us the
geez.
beer.
This is the
He's
this
got
is our
the,
first release from the Bottle Club. It's our
Bring it up.
Cabernet Barrel Aged Oud Brewing.
Oud Brewing. Yeah, I've had this beer.
Nice.
Yeah. That one will look like the Peach Folk that's coming out because we use the same label because we're cheap. but the beer is not cheap.
You're frugal.
Yeah, you're
Frugal,
frugal.
yes.
Yeah,
We're spendthrifts.
Yeah.
You two could have one of these bottles if you join their bottle club, but that's not going to be
Till next
until
year.
next year again because
Well,
it
this
pretty
year.
much fills up.
Yeah.
Have you done one? Okay, so 2017 is not filled up yet.
2017 is full.
Okay.
November is the start of the bottle club every year.
Yeah, we'll do it around our anniversary every year. So
Okay.
every early November, late October, we release American Sour Red as our anniversary beer, and then we will open up club memberships around that time too. So
All right.
It's always fun to be part of a drinking club.
yeah, it's easy too.
Yeah.
You just drink.
You just drink. You just buy and drink.
Yeah, you come out to the brewery and you.
Oh, damn,
you
that's
buy
good.
beer.
That's
Thank
real
you.
good, bro.
Yeah, so like that's why I joined a homebrew club, so I could drink for
Right.
free.
Holla.
Right.
I'm just kidding.
This is so the
very
Oud Brewing.
nice.
It's our Cabernet Barrel Aged sour black beer, brown beer, depending on what you want to call our brewing.
Schwarzbier.
Ooh,
It's a little
Schwarzbier?
little brown, a little black,
It's
a
a
little
sour
dark.
Schwarzbier.
that's tasty.
So that's all
Wow.
barrel character right
Wow.
Whoever has not had that is missing out.
there. That's a jammy beer. No fruit added.
For any
Can I
bottle,
have some more
for any,
Rolaids?
for any bottle club members that are listening, we will be releasing
No.
the remainder of the bottles for sale to you guys here shortly.
Yeah.
Us here at the table.
Yes, all of us.
Okay.
So part of the bottle club.
Yeah, tell us about the bottle club.
So you get 20 bottles throughout the year.
Do they come with Jugaloo knives?
They do not.
this year. Maybe next year. That's a pretty good
What's
suggestion.
the,
That's
what's
a good
the
idea. I like
cost?
that. It is $2.75. You get 20 bottles.
That's $2.75.
12 of the 20 bottles are
Micro bottles.
12 of the 20 bottles are bottle club only bottles. So the Oud Brewing, the only people that will be able to get the bottles are part of the bottle club. The remainder from their allocation are only sold to the bottle club. So
Or drink on podcasts.
I mean,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
part of the bottle club, so we brought one.
That's awesome.
So this is the first of the releases. We are working on number 2 and a party for the bottle club come March
Very good.
March 4th,
March 4th, yeah. It's
said-
going to be the Peach
So
Folk
20
release.
bottles,
which is the second release.
right?
Yeah, 20 bottles, 12 of which are exclusives.
12 exclusives.
The other
Okay.
8 are from our regular
Right.
allotments. So
Yeah, so
yeah, Peach Folk's the next one.
Peach folk.
800
Yeah,
pounds,
so-
Parker County peaches.
Weatherford peaches. Parker
Uh,
County.
how would someone join the bottle club? I know you said it comes around in November, but tell us about
It is a online sign up only. You have to just fill out the form, but we will only have a set number of spots. The first spots will be
They're offered up to people that are already
Current
in.
Yeah.
current members.
Yeah.
current
They
members get
first
those
right.
first dibs, and then we'll release it for the rest. And there'll be a cap, so it's a come first.
What's
come
the
Well,
average?
let me. What? What are you talking about, dude?
We do not ship beers, but you can get a proxy who will have to pick them up
Yeah.
for you and ship them.
There you
out.
go.
You can
Okay.
get a mule to carry it for
Yep.
you wherever
So,
it needs to
how
go.
many?
I'm
We would
actually
welcome a
I'm actually a
literal
proxy
mule.
for a friend of mine.
What's your cap at members?
Next year we have not determined that.
What was it this year?
We had
Let's say.
150.
Okay.
Next year, it will just be determined based on our production and what we feel we can do to give the proper amount of beer to people. Because I don't want to give one bottle of each of the releases. I want to give at least 2. And so if we think we can only make, 400 bottles, then we'll cap it at 200. So
Right. Okay. That's fair enough.
Well,
So is everything that's in the? Sorry. what
Go
is it?
ahead. Go ahead.
Is everything that's in this going to be a great ager like that one that we just had? That's 5 years down the road. I think that thing is going to be amazing. So
Yeah, I think so. Well, I don't know. It depends. We like to play with a lot of stuff. This beer would definitely sit well,
Would.
but I think the jammy like Cabernet character is gonna probably fall out sooner than later. And then I think our fruited sours are best drank young.
yeah, those are good fresh.
Yeah.
Plus,
Yeah,
everything we bottle is bottled with Brett. So it's not wine conditioned yeast, it's not champagne yeast, it's not SO5, it's not any kind of thing like that. Everything is bottled with Brett. So the Brett should theoretically, we don't know, we haven't been open long enough to know if it's going to bottle for 5 years, but
Yeah.
that's also too something else. Like everything's bottled with Brett. Brett Limicus is our bottle conditioning yeast. So
Sorry, dude. Your hands like right in the video.
Right
it's just
in
like
It's the handy cam.
all these like
A hand
but
model,
anyway,
you are
it
not.
was just hilarious, man. I'm sorry, I couldn't help.
I really don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
But
I don't know what to do.
I joked to my wife.
so here's an age-old question. I want to know, what is the stomach condition of a sour beer brewer?
Hardier than we haven't touched the antacids yet. So
I'm stuck.
Well, some of us haven't.
my stomach's been torn up all day from bad food last night, and I'm still drinking sour beer. So
I've always had acid reflux, so it's nothing different.
Stubby has a real hard time with.
So
the,
James, didn't you
beers.
have like ulcers and stuff, and you had to like slow down and just a little bit? No.
just
He's
a little
getting
bit.
the
It
Just
came
a
down to a
tiny
point when I
ulcer.
realized. Well, I mean, plus two, like I homebrewed. I always had a kegerator full of beer.
Full of lactic acid.
Yeah, and after brewing beer for like 6 years at home brewing and getting into sour beer and making sour beer at home, I always had sour beer at home, which is really all I have at home now is sour beer projects. And then also I make sour beer at work and I drank sour beer and I just kept drinking sour beer. And then one day I just couldn't sleep because my stomach was in knots. And I was like, this is probably a time where you should probably dial that back a little bit. Maybe not drink sour beer every single day, all the time when you drink beer.
that's wrong.
Well, you always you
Yeah, you
judge
should
me a
man
lot
up.
for how much of our beer that I drink. You're like, oh, you're drinking more of that again? I'm like,
don't
well, yeah.
judge
Well, maybe you
I
should
think
stop
it's-
drinking the profits.
Quit drinking all the profits, James.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. Trust me,
it.
we only break even because I drink way too much.
Or it's the last keg of what we have.
Yeah, well, I didn't know it was the last keg until I started filling the crowler. All right, it wasn't my fault. Like no
The
one.
last crowler.
It blew, and then it was like, wait a minute, where's the rest of the kegs? We don't have any more of this. And somebody goes, no, and I go, well, I don't know. I make the beer and put it in the cold room. I don't keep track of it once it's in the cold room.
I just put it in the cold room and drink it.
Yeah,
James
that's all I
will
do.
drink
Jeez.
everything. We call some beers like that the rest of us don't want to finish, but James will. We call him James Pours.
He's like my kid.
Yeah,
Dude, did you
Pretty
drink
much.
did you drink all that hot crap that what's his doodle made?
the ghost pepper one.
His doodle.
No, that was kind of my limit on that one. That was one of those things where I was like, this is like literally unenjoyable. Like it's so they say James Pours. A lot of that just means like things we don't really like. I'm like
Ben.
there's nothing fundamentally wrong with the beer. I'll drink it.
He's our
But-
beer
but it's-
dumpster.
That was like a cruel joke, though, man.
And food dumpster, too. He'll sniff out any food that is in the brewery.
Sorry, I have a very, very good olfactory sense, and then I can smell things and taste things. Maybe that's why I'm a brewer, you know?
Yeah, so we had 3 crowlers of that ghost pepper stuff.
Oh man.
Sorry.
I don't know where
The ghost pepper brown
that's what-
IPA.
yeah,
That
I don't-
firkin went over pretty harsh.
Yeah.
Sure, Firkin did.
Yes, it did.
We hurt people.
Might have been a little spicy there.
Yeah.
We were pouring it. We just had it. We had it in the back here, and we all opened it up, and we were like, "Oh my, what is this?"
We still have like a pound of ghost peppers we haven't figured out what to do with anything. It's like they're sitting dried in a bag, and we're just like, I don't know when we're ever going to use this again because we tried it once and it didn't work out for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should just put them in a bong and smoke them. Didn't you see that guy do that on Facebook?
Oh my god.
Oh my God, are you serious?
That sounds
No matter
Cereal.
what you say, it is on Facebook or YouTube. There is something.
That's true. That's
Yes.
true. Wow.
That's a big bottle.
You know
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, so I went down to Jester King, I guess, 2 weeks ago? And this is one of their magnum of goodness, I hope, because that's a big-ass bottle, and it was really expensive.
I've heard of that one. So
So
you
it's,
say
what's it,
It's a
what's it called?
collaboration, right?
Yes,
I'm not
it is.
sure. Is it
Yes.
collaboration?
It
Yeah.
is.
I think,
Super ultra mega hyperforce.
I have seen them
Super
around
Ultra
town.
Megaforce
Mega Hyperforce.
Hyperforce.
Yeah.
I think it was like
Oh,
20 something
there's
bucks.
chaos going on
That's
right
it?
now.
for that.
And fingers and stuff and weirdness.
All right. Well, while these idiots do what they're doing, let's talk about a recipe. Let's talk about a homebrew recipe for people that want to start brewing beer, brewing sour beer at home.
Okay.
So this is something we like to do with the brewers now, breweries that come on. We're doing an on the spot recipe. Those of us. What the?
Hey, so
Small
here's what
pours
here's
of the mag-
Mikey. Here's what I think.
You
I
just
think
you just fill her up.
honestly, I think this is
I
what
think we're going to be out of that one.
I think this is a great, and I think what we ought to do is with this whole recipe development, what we ought to make it for is for guys that are interested in they're home brewers and they're interested in getting into making sour beers. So
Right.
you know, one of the guys that is and here's the thing, when it comes to sour beer, I'll be the first to admit that I don't know as much as even the average Joe that's a sour beer brewer. But you know, we have guys like Dan Pixley that are
Yeah.
a wealth
Right.
of knowledge that we've had on the show,
Milk the Funk.
and Milk the Funk, and man, what a great service that guy does to the sour beer community.
Yeah.
And really, he does
Right.
all the wiki stuff for the what is it, milkthefunk.com?
Milk the Funk.
Milk
Yeah.
Funk. I
Or is
just
it
searched
.org?
Milk the Funk
Yeah.
wiki.
The wiki.
Yeah.
is the
Okay.
main one.
But anyway, they're absolutely, it's a wealth of knowledge, and man, I can't say enough about those guys. But one of the things that I think is the thing that I see, if you follow milkthefunk.com or Milk the Funk on Facebook or the wiki for that matter, and I think the biggest thing that most of these guys are interested in is, you know, how do we get started making sour beer? What is a great way to get started? What are some of the great, you know, I mean, where do you start? Base level. How do you get started?
Start and then
So,
has like
so I mean,
sort of
James, this might be a
continuation.
great great thing for you to maybe talk about, because you know, we've had all of your experiments for years now. Some of them great, some of them not so good.
Not so great. Trust me, everything's an experiment.
Yeah.
That's what sour beer making is, which is what I've learned also too working at Collective Brewing Project is that you can try stuff and we can do things, and then sometimes things just don't turn out right. What I learned very quickly and early on with homebrewing sour beer is that, you know, you can try an experiment, you think it tastes bad, you bring it to your friends and ask, does this taste bad to you guys too? Or is this something I'm just not understanding?
Or does it smell bad?
Or smell bad, or just everything's bad about it, and you just want to know and make sure that you tried a technique and it didn't work out so hot, so then you don't try it again. Like, that's kind of the process. And like Ryan said, we've dumped 6 of our puncheons because it didn't turn out right. It was vinegar, it was nail polish, it was all kinds of bad stuff. Like, You make sour beer?
That was the most recent dump. We've dumped a lot more than that.
We've definitely dumped 15 barrels of other sour beers that we really were like, literally, if I felt like playing taps as it was going down the drain because it was a long project that we tried and it didn't work out. You don't make sour beer and not expect to dump beer. Like that's
It's
one
like
thing
that
I've heard.
girl that you
Yeah,
really
I-
wanted, it just didn't work out.
Yeah,
right?
kind of something like
Which
that.
you
But
didn't
but you
really
didn't have to like
didn't
pour
get.
it down the
What you
drain
really
though.
didn't
When that
get.
girl, yeah.
You really,
Now-
really wanted it, but you really didn't get
But
it.
when it was all said and done, though, that girl was still alive. That beer went down the drain and it went nowhere. Like that beer went nowhere. And
got-
Sucks.
it happens. I mean,
I've got 10 gallons at home in a barrel that is just not doing what I want it to do. So it's
Yeah.
you can. I mean, honestly, like either you drink it by yourself and
No,
you
it's-
just
it's-
know
yeah,
what's
it's-
wrong with
yeah.
it, or you maybe can power through that. But sometimes you just can't. Like I said,
Yeah.
I like you guys are talking about. I remember that time, the homebrew club meeting. I brought that disgusting. It was cheesy feet and baby diaper beer
shitty-
because I tried a sour mash method at home in a cooler and it didn't work out. Like you don't do a kettle
But
sour
you
or
sure
a
did
mash
like
tun
sharing
sour.
it. That's
That
for sure.
cheese-
It was funny to me. Like I thought it was funny. I was like, "Do you guys taste all this bad stuff?" Because I'm tasting
Dude.
butyric, I'm tasting this, and it was all out of the good
Dude.
stuff.
A little
But
bit of corn,
no,
some
you're-
peas. I don't know.
You're making it sound nice, dude. It
Yeah, it wasn't
smelled
nice.
and tastes like somebody's shit in a bottle.
The second I
I'm
popped
just
open that
saying.
growler, everyone was like, "I can smell this from like 10 feet away." Yeah,
I remember like you tried to pour it for me. I'm like,
no, Parmesan cheese foot and baby diaper was best way to describe that beer.
There was a turd in that
And that's
thing, I
using all my
swear to God.
BJCP quotes right there, basically. All my BJCP.
all the comments from your score sheet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I wanted to
No,
pour
I
out-
didn't enter that beer in competition. I knew it was bad from the get go. I just wanted to see what people
You
thought.
should have
'cause-
entered it just to get
troll
piss
people.
Just to
Yeah.
troll people.
Did you put it just
Yeah.
to screw with people? Like, hey, try that. You have to try this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I did that day. I brought it to Brandon just to mess with him, and then I was like, "This is kind of fun. I'm going to give it to everybody else I know who makes sour beer to see what they think."
I want to
Hear it
point
across
out
the room,
that
people going, "Oh God."
nobody here let me know that he did that before I hired him.
Well, no, I only gave you my good sour beer that I made at home. So also too,
Did you?
I've actually made good sour beer at home. Like just so you know.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that says also too. I'm just saying. Boom.
So there's two of you that we have to correct now.
that's gonna be the drinking game.
There you go.
One also.
Yeah, no. So actually, honestly, I have a very good memory too of how I got hired, or at least in contact with these guys. I met Mike from coming to the homebrew club and stuff like that when they were about to launch the brewery, and I met Ryan once or twice. But I have one bottle left still that I haven't actually brought to the brewery to drink yet with Ryan. But I kind of had like a sour
Is that the
beer.
shitty one?
No. This is the one. This is the one that
Those
I.
are all the other ones you brought.
This is the one that I remember like kind of like solidified like what was gonna happen. I
It's the
homebrewed.
warhead thing.
So I guess I have to start talking about stuff. Yes, it's Warheads. It is Warheads.
It's not Bobby the Jew's brown diaper ale.
No. It's definitely
Okay.
it's definitely Warheads. So I started with Brandon, who usually is on this. Brandon Martin and I, we'd homebrewed forever. We did a Belgian Golden Strong a lot, and one day we decided instead of doing 10 gallons of Belgian Golden Strong, we're gonna do 5 gallons of each. One Belgian Golden Strong, one with the Rosa blend. We did the Rosa blend
Hey,
from
James,
Wise.
James,
No, not gonna work.
cut it back like half speed, okay?
Half speed.
Yeah,
all
we
right.
can slow this down in post,
And
I
in
guess, for
length.
anybody
Yeah,
who
right.
wants to actually understand.
You guys should have had me
things. We're all
talking
used
earlier
to it
before
at
I
this
had
point.
beer. This is the problem now.
Dude, I've heard
Don't
you
melt the
completely
mic.
sober. It ain't no different.
You forced yourself on that microphone.
And there is a no before having beer.
Yeah, true. That's absolutely right.
You know the reason we haven't had you on here yet, right, man? I
Oh,
thought
because no one could handle this.
no, because I thought you would melt the mic down, man, and I had to buy another $200 or $300 mic, man.
Truth. But you know,
All right, so slow
fucking
down.
What I wanted
Breathe.
to say is,
so Brandon and I were brewing
Breathe.
Belgian Golden Strong recipe quite a lot on the 10-gallon system, and then we decided one day just to throw the Rosa blend into the Belgian Golden Strong yeast or the Belgian Golden Strong base, and after a year it turned out really good. Turns out it turned out really good. Huh, who knew? Because that's what you're supposed to do with Rosa blend. You just let it sit, and
Absolutely,
it does make sour beer after a year, and everything tastes good. So we did that.
That's really good.
And then I just was like, hey, you know, this is really cool. What if I tried doing more sour beer at home? Because apparently you can make sour beer at home. So then I decided to start using bottle dregs of other beers. I was using Cricket Stave dregs from St. Bretta. I was using Sanctification dregs from
Sanctification.
Sanctification is
find a
from
list
Russian
of the
River.
dregs
Yeah, there we go,
bottles
Russian River.
on
Yeah,
Milk the Funk. So
yeah, all these bottles. I just started harvesting yeast, and then one day I pitched it to a beer. I did a rye saison with Brandon also. We did that, and I decided to take my 5 gallons and go and pitch that blend on it, and it was super sour within like 6 weeks. It was acidic. It was sour. Everything I wanted out of a sour saison. Couldn't be happier. And so I decided to like throw a little bit of wood in there, like just a couple French oak chips, and just let it sit.
Totally pitch it.
Yeah, that
pitch
was,
like a
Pitch
10?
that wood.
That was my question I was about to ask. Is have you put it into small format barrels, or have you put wood in your fermenters?
Yeah, I just would use French oak chips that I bought
you inserted the
over
wood.
here at Texas Brewing Inc. Hey, look at that. Yeah, there you go. Plugging that shit.
You insert that wood.
Yeah, basically, no. So it just kind of sat with those guys in there, and then I would just harvest those guys out of each batch. Like, I basically ran that beer off into a keg, carbonated it, loved it, took the yeast off the bottom, dumped all that stuff into a clean mason jar, and capped it, and used it again. I did a sour stout. So I'd met these guys, Mike through the Homebrew Club, and Martin House. I met Ryan through Mike, and then one day we went to a bike ride sort of thing here in Fort Worth.
You rode a bike? Motorcycles or like?
Oh, definitely not
bicycles?
motorcycles.
Oh,
I have
okay.
no business being on a motorcycle. It was just bikes, like bicycles.
Well, you know,
Trying to swing a
Bicicleta.
And they were probably about, well, I say they, we, I guess I work there now, right? Like, I can say we or no, or they. Do I still have to say they, boss?
just one of them.
If it's before you worked for us,
use your best judgment.
Just go with
Was that
one of
so
them.
bad judgment?
Yeah, so
I
basically.
feel like you've been talking for 30 minutes, so just make a choice.
Probably true.
Right?
So
Right?
so
That's what I'm
basically for
saying,
me,
right?
so for me it was really awesome because like I brought my homebrew to an event where I knew they'd be at, and I was like, hey guys, I make sour beer. I heard Mike said you wanted to make sour beer. I want to come work for you at some point in time. And I brought my homebrew up, gave it to him, and we sat in the back of our delivery van drinking a beer together. And that is honestly like one of the best moments of my life. It was a highlight. And now I work at a brewery where I make the beer that I want to make. I love
Thank
making
God
sour
you
beer.
didn't give them the turd in the bottle beer.
No, God, no. I wanted a
Oh,
job.
wow.
I didn't want to fuck with my friends.
Zing. And there it is.
Oh,
Hell.
There's the one.
well, the genie's out of the bottle now.
Edit that out.
Oh man. So
man.
I think
So-
that's a good point to start on. And I mean, how would somebody that's thinking about doing sour beer brewing, that's a home brewer, what would be a good guideline for people to go and
beginner.
to do it? Would it be a kettle sour, or would it be just start out with like a Roeselare blend, like you said? And I would like to think that if you're going to do sour beers, that you're probably a little more advanced in the fact that I would like to think that maybe you're a all grain brewer. That doesn't mean that you can't brew great sour beers with extract beers, because I've made some phenomenal sour beers with extract. Because I think really what you're going off of is you're really going off of the yeast character, the acidity, all of that different stuff. So how would you suggest a new
Starters.
sour brewer?
Starters that can continue it as well.
Yeah, how would you start out? I mean, if you're doing just a baseline sour, what would you suggest? Would you do a turbine mash, or would you do,
no.
I mean,
I'm gonna throw one thing out there and let Ryan go into a more professional thing. But I was a home brewer. I was a brew by number home brewer. I never developed a recipe. If you are the type that is upset about the time it takes to turn around a normal beer, then you do not want to do sours. It's a hard thing to brew a beer and let it sit for months
Or
and
years,
months
right?
and years
Yeah.
and not be able to do anything with it. Now, you also have to have the space for that. So if you're going to be brewing this and you have, 2 carboys, then you're screwed. You have to have the space. You have to have the temperature control as well over that time. So for me, like, I wanted to drink the beers that I made, and
Exactly.
I didn't want to sit on it.
Exactly.
I lived in a small apartment. It didn't work for me. So that's
You just didn't have the space, basically.
right. That's the basic thing right there. Yeah, I like the beer, but I could go buy it and not wait a year to drink it. On the other side, Ryan can say about your methods and all that. So
I have people that when they find out I'm a home brewer, they're like, well, man, how do you wait that long to drink the beer? I mean, doesn't it take like a month? And I'm like, well, I brewed a lambic 2 years ago, and it's still fermenting. I've got another one that's fermenting for
It's
6
not
months
fermenting
now.
anymore.
It's sitting.
aging.
But
I
they
have
don't
stuff too
understand
that's
that.
still sitting from
Yeah.
2 years ago
Yeah,
that
I
I've
have-
got in a pellicle closet. I call it the pellicle closet because it just
Yeah.
holds nothing but carboys full of pellicles.
yeah, I've got 2 lambics and a
Pellicle testicle. That should be
Old
a new
Brewing
one.
that are
New beer name.
2 years, 1 year, and 6 months old. So
Yeah.
and then
you
after
learn to be patient.
and then after a year, we had a Berliner and a red that we did when we were developing this place that we dumped. And I mean, it was only 10, 15 gallons,
yeah, I've dumped.
but it's just like, oh, hey, we just wasted all this time, and now
Dumping's a good thing.
yeah, no, it's good, but
okay.
that's the thing. If it goes
So,
bad,
I
dump
say
it.
that every
Look,
morning.
So actual recipe development.
Yeah.
We haven't actually talked about that yet. I would start like super simple and don't make it hard on yourself. Start out with like a carboy, better bottle or something, and some spirals. The spirals are fairly cheap. They're really high quality. Start it with a fairly simple golden base.
Golden ale,
I
something like that,
love
yeah.
a good golden base is so
High
versatile.
protein
so.
content.
Yeah, you can try it out with we love spelt because it's close to wheat, wheat,
But it
oats,
has more
whatever.
protein, right?
Yeah, something for the Brettanomyces that's in your culture you're going to choose. Give it a long food supply, so it'll also help with the body of your beer because if you don't look out, they can get a little thin, but keep it fairly simple. Just maybe some base Pilsner malt or something. Go nuts with whatever character grains you want. Hell, use quinoa or whatever. Rye.
Ramen.
Ramen.
That ramen definitely did not add body; it only added sugars.
It definitely only added sugar. But, keep it simple. Make a golden base. And then throw it in a carboy. Keep your hop dose low or non-existent. That's
Do you have
actually
any
how we
concept
got
on maybe
our
IBUs or initial
Zero.
original gravity on that one, maybe.
Our golden base kind of fluctuates. So it's usually around the 1060-ish mark.
You got any adjuncts in that?
Any adjuncts in our golden
like flake
base?
wheat, flake.
No.
Are you just using the spelt primarily as your?
Yeah, we stick around with spelt, malted wheat, golden naked oats sometimes, and then Tex Malt Pilsner is kind of our go-to pills right now.
You said IBU 0. Is that literal 0? I mean, you don't put
Yeah,
any hops in
if
there
you're
at all?
wanting to get your culture kind of going and mature, the easiest way to guarantee that you get some acidity level on your beer is to just don't hop it. At least for the first few batches, you can prop up your culture that way. At least this is the way I would do it.
Mm-hmm. What about using age hops? If you had some around,
You could. That may take a few batches to dial in the bitterness.
Right.
If you're going with like lambic or goose level hopping rates, that produces a extremely bitter wort that is meant to inhibit the lacto and some of the wild bugs that you get from spontaneous inoculation at the beginning stages, and then your tertiary stages are when you get like the pediococcus kind of taking over and providing acidity. So if you wanted to start just a culture and not worry about spontaneous or something, give yourself a couple batches where you don't hop it or hop it to an IBU.
Yeah.
Well, we did 1 ounce of pellet hops in a 7-barrel batch of the Woodfolk the first time we brewed it, and we did that for a while. That was our hopping rate, was 1 ounce of hops in 7 barrels.
yeah,
we
I've
had
heard
some-
like 7 IBUs.
Yeah.
Or under
that wasn't
15.
close to what we.
Right,
that was
right.
probably 7 times stronger than what
Right,
we.
right.
It was 7,000ths of an IBU.
Yeah.
Well, that's really good information for somebody that's just starting out or who's has an interest in it. Maybe they've been brewing for several years and they're wanting to do some sour brewing. And it's like, what do I do? How do I start out with this? What basic recipe do I go with?
So what was really cool for me was also in homebrewing was after getting a culture going where it was super acidic and super sour and it was turning beers out in like 3 to 4 weeks. I decided to do like a full on like sour IPA brew day where I just repitched those dregs on top of like an IPA base. It was like 60 IBUs is what I was targeting for. Turned the beer still in 6 weeks. It actually was a really, really good sour IPA that I was super happy with, and I drank it way too fast.
Yeah, and that's where like seasoning your culture kind of comes in. If you want to think of it like a puppy, you don't play as rough with a puppy as you do like a full-grown dog. So once you give it some time to grow and get a little seasoned and long in the tooth, then you can start throwing like a more aggressive aged hop dose at it or something like that, and really challenge it to control some of the acidity that it may be, getting out of balance or something like that. Yeah.
Do you have any suggestion on blends as far as the whole overall the bug profile goes on that? I mean, how like when you guys, if you're thinking about starting, a lot of times, Brett's fairly easy, especially if you're doing a blend. But if you want to hit the sourness up front, with the lactic or the PDO or something like that, were you guys looking for something specific that you thought was a good starter base, or were you just pretty much saying, let's mix and match and see what we get, out of various batches, and then start blending off of those over time type of thing?
We certainly blend off of the different batches now. We just chose one culture from the yeast bay at the very get-go for our fooder. But we've done other things with the different sour red beers that we've got into barrels, and then obviously with Urban Punk House, where things have kind of gotten mixed up and we intentionally just don't monitor it. If it tastes good, we'll let it ride. But
it feels like there's still beer in here.
That thing's heavy. There's, definitely like Brett makes good sour beer. It does not make beer sour, but yeah, that's the name of our Wi-Fi network right now is Brett does not make beer sour. Anyway,
it's not the big acid.
Something to remember, right?
I guess going off of that, how like that you've talked about the base and how to brew the beer to then sour it. How would you sour it as a starter and a home brewer?
Yeah, I would
Good
keep
question.
it simple. Thanks, Mike. That's a softball.
Boom.
I
Yeah.
appreciate
That's a
the softball.
non-brewer question because you don't know how to brew the beer, right?
Oh, that is
bam.
messed up.
Oh.
Ryan hasn't told me what to do like he has you.
Oh.
Godsmack.
Boom. Yeah, so I would kind of do it the same way James did. Maybe pick a mixed culture from one of the yeast producers. Something you can get here at Stubby's, or I know because you're selling White Lab.
Well, we do White Labs and we have Y yeast, but I really like a lot of the White Labs cultures.
Yeah.
And honestly, they're a bargain for the price. Because a lot of other yeast manufacturers, they want to charge a premium for bugs, whereas Y yeast, they charge the same price. I mean, not Y yeast, White Labs charges the same price as they do for just their normal culture. So
And they get
for
really
a sack,
good.
so. And some of them, they have some blends, and they have and then they have like your Brett, all your Brett strains and Brett C, which even Y yeast doesn't carry those. So if you have a homebrew store, even if it's not us, I think White Labs really has a pretty good selection of different bugs that it's very affordable because it's just the same price as a sack.
They get really good reviews. If you read any good sour recipes, any of the blogs out there, I see a lot of people praising the White Lab stuff for their blends.
Right. But I will say this, that Y yeast does have a great blend in their the Rosalaire blend. That makes a fantastic sour beer because it has like a sherry yeast. It has a couple
like four
breads,
yeasts,
and
yeah.
a couple
Four strains
breads
in there,
and
I think.
a
Well, see, that's something to hit it
lacto
on too. Is like if you're talking about a Brett strain, what do you think about a good starter Brett strain for a sour? or let's say a funky beer producer on that one, and then maybe
I guess
a
that
lactose strain too. You know, like what do you think would be better for someone to throw in as far as actual souring, and then like the bug character, the funk? You know, what do you think would be?
Well, that's a big
that's
a big point though, and I think this is where we should go from that, because if you just want to make something funky, you can throw some bread in it. But if you want it sour, you probably need to do something different.
Exactly.
Well, I would go like Brett. To me, is the most important, facet of that. Sourness can be developed over time and after the fact, really. So the most important choice in my eyes is the Brett strains that you use. The quality of funk you want to get, if you want to go something like the East Bay where they go like super fruity on some of their Brett strains, or you can go super traditional like Brett Lambicus and Brett Brooks, or you can mix the two, which that's what we tend to do. We bottle everything with Brett Lambicus. We use a lot of Brett Brooks, and then some of these newer school Brett strains that provide like the juicy fruit, kind of pineapple-y, mango, stone fruit characters that you get out of a lot of our sour beers. So,
what strain's that?
What's that?
What strain are you talking about?
That's some of the yeast-based stuff that they won't tell us what the names
Okay,
of them
that's
are.
one. Okay,
Yeah,
Probably some Brett C.
probably some Brett C.
yeah.
Some of their. I'm sure there's like 100 different Brett C's out there.
All right.
So just drink some beers and choose. Find out what the Bretts are that you like out of those beers you're drinking, and try to track those down.
What's funny though is they're like learning new things all the time about Brett, which is what was it? The Brett Trois that they just realized was not really a Brett, and then
the White Labs. Yeah.
And now what do they call it? They have Dre and
Vardre is the real Brett, and then there's the Trois, which is Saccharomyces.
It was a Saccharomyces. But they thought it was a Brett, but it was a sac. So
yeah,
sac meaning Saccharomyces.
So like, I have another question about
how do you make beer?
I'm not. Back when we were submitting beers for competitions, which we've kind of slowed down on now, but
why? Why?
Because one of the things when and correct me if I'm wrong, when we're submitting for a sour beer, it says no expression of Brett.
Do you really want me to get up on that soapbox right now?
I don't think you have to.
So I mean,
the
but true to
Association
style
has their,
in that. So I mean, is it?
You know what? I would say throw the style guidelines out the window and just do what you want.
Well, that's one of the things that's really cool.
Yeah,
I think that's the best thing that's actually they did with the BJCP this last go around when they did their updates. Holy crap, man! They truly broke out the sour categories, and they really did a really good job at it. I mean, because back in the old days, if you had a sour beer, you could only enter in one, one or two categories, and now they have like 15 or 20. I mean, it's really broadened out. So I think that hopefully, I think homebrewers are innovators, and hopefully that the BA will kind of follow along with those, and they need to. I think they need to.
That's my point with that is that when I say we have not been entering into competitions is because we do not brew to style. We throw that out the guideline, out the window. Who cares what the style guideline says? Whatever you feel you want to brew, whatever expressions you want, do it. And if you don't win an award because it's not true to their style, it could be the best beer there, but just because it's not in the style guidelines, you screw it up.
Hey, what is it? The big category that they have in the BJCP now is like American sour beers or something.
Wow. Yeah, they're doing that.
American Wild. Yeah,
there are.
Which I would think most of you guys' beers would probably fit into that qualification. So
that's a tricky little piece
you
of
would think that.
Yeah, the Wild Specialty maybe.
Nothing.
Wild Specialty.
Nothing we do will fit.
Because there's
into
a
any
Brett
style.
beer category, isn't there? That's at least the Brewers Association. They have a Brett beer category.
You have American Wild Ale, which is category 28, and that's broken into Brett beer, mixed fermentation sour beer, and wild specialty beer.
Yeah, so they have a lot of different qualifications
cool.
just within that.
But you just have to get
one.
into the actual nitty gritty and what they want and the expressions and all that everything.
Well, that's BJCP. I don't know what the hell they're doing with the GABF and the BA and stuff now, which their categories are really different than what the BJCP is, and like I said, I think really homebrewers even from a standpoint of innovation and style experimentation and stuff of that nature, they're on the precipice of all home brewing, or all beer brewing, because and I would expect to see the GABF or the BA take notice of what the BJCP has done with all these new different sour categories, and maybe implement those into the GABF or some variation of thereof. So. And I think that's one of the things that's really tough, and I see this all the time, people bitching and complaining about judging of sour beers, because there's so many people that really don't understand them and don't really understand.
Or maybe they don't like them.
Or they don't like them, yeah. So that's one of the things that I think has become.
What's the matter, James?
Don't judge a category you don't like. I don't understand that concept when it comes to everything. I don't judge Rausch beer. I don't drink it. I don't like it. Doesn't mean it's bad. I just don't judge it because I don't like it.
You don't like bacon? What's wrong with you?
No, I don't like bacon in my beer.
You didn't say anything about that when we randled bacon through or porter through bacon.
What am I going to tell my boss? Hey, don't do this?
Or during the pre-employment interview.
Yeah.
But then also, if you are...
you are Bobby the Jew. You don't eat pork, right?
Something like that.
Oh!
The other thing is, if you get a Brett infection, it doesn't mean you can let that Brett infection go and let it clean itself out.
Yeah, and all that fat really kills your head retention.
Yeah, you shouldn't let any infection go. I'm just saying.
No, he's right. Continue.
No, yeah. If you do get a Brett infection in your beers, it doesn't mean that hey, now I have a Brett beer. It just means you have an infected beer with Brett. I mean, it's this. So
which could be a wild Brett.
Well, let me ask you this though: have you ever had a beer that was supposed to be a clean beer get infected? And you're like, oh, it's pretty good.
Not at our brewery.
No.
Yeah, no, not what we do. We work very diligently to make sure we do not have our clean side mixed with our Brett side. That is,
we rain fire and death on things. So
there's a lot of time spent cleaning. We clean a lot.
Yeah, they clean a lot. I used to.
Gotta love it.
Oh yes.
James cleans a lot.
Yeah, James does clean a lot.
James or Ben?
James cleans a lot like this. He's watching soccer on his phone.
Oh yeah, that is very
Can
true.
I put my Liverpool hoodie on now and just?
Could you? Sure, whatever.
So you would say for basic sour starter, just basically some Pilsner malt and maybe some wheat.
Sure,
right?
Yeah, go lambic grist. Do like 60-40.
Or spelt,
like super traditional.
Well, I mean, we do use a lot of rye at the brewery. Like that was one thing too when I was homebrewing. A lot of my sour beer projects was I brew a lot with rye. My homebrew buddy, who usually is on the podcast, Brandon, which I'm going to keep bringing up his name because he's not here right now, and
he wanted to be here.
Yeah, I'm sure he did, but
yeah,
anyways,
but he's in Arkansas right now.
Yeah, he's having a lot of fun in a hotel room all by himself, probably listening to the podcast, drinking a 6-pack of some sort of crazy Arkansas beer. But no, that's part of the reason too why I also love working where I work, because it was a lot of just similar things where we realized.
Take a breath every once in a while.
We realized. So here's what's gonna be funny is, Mikey, I'm gonna talk slower and you're gonna be really weirded out.
No,
so
I'm not.
So
he'll still be confused. Go on.
We're all weirded out by the eye contact you're giving right now.
Hey, Mikey.
Where's your other hand? Yeah, okay. That's better. It's much better.
Waving in front of the iPhone.
Dude, really?
I just love the smooth, sexy sliver of a lady snake.
There you go. But no, I mean, like a lot of what Brandon and I brewed at home in regards to our homebrew was the rye saison. Like that was kind of where I learned that rye and wheat and all that stuff kind of goes in oats. They all kind of build body.
It's beer.
And then whenever I went to go,
tastes like Pez.
Go over to Collective Brewing Project was like we do a rye, like Funkhouse is a rye saison basically. It's a base is a rye saison, and the way we keep body in that, whenever the beer gets down to damn near water, whenever it's like a .05 Plato, it's basically like 10.02. It's one of those things where like how do you keep bodying a beer like that? It's through rye is what we like to do a lot of. We do a lot of rye saisons. We put rye in the beer. Golden Egg Oats do go into a lot of our other projects like Wood Folks and stuff like that. Yeah. But I mean, we do use a lot of rye too, and that's what that's how I always built rye back. Or I use
feel
rye.
like the blends of yeast or the bug blend anyway would take more of the flavor character away from some of the rye.
You don't get the spiciness.
You know what I'm saying? It's like it takes a lot away to me.
It takes a lot of the spice out, but you still get the body. And I homebrewed a lot of rye beers, and so just rye kind of made sense to me. That was kind of my thing. Like I did a blonde rye for years. I always.
Do you like rye whiskey?
Absolutely.
I love rye whiskey.
That's why we have Mustache Ride right there.
So
that's how it started.
You said your gravity around 1060. Just curious, what's the petite gravity?
1048.
Yeah.
1048.
Yeah.
1050. 1048.
The most. It's a 4.5% beer. So
awesome.
But
and
that
your
beer
base
does
on
finish
that?
very low. Like it still finishes right around 1 Plato or 1004.
Right.
Like it's a super low finishing. We've gotten one close to almost to zero.
Very dry.
It's happened.
So do you guys just use just a Pilsner base with just some wheat on that particular beer?
yeah, pretty much.
Okay, cool. Fantastic.
And melanoidin.
We
Why do you use
we use a
melanoidin?
token.
Throw some
amount of
extract in there or
melanoid.
what?
I only say that because I mill it.
I know, and I designed the recipe.
Okay. This is going to get interesting now. There we go. All right. Let's drill down a few layers here, guys.
Yeah, you need a lot of melanoid malt
I
in
brewed
sour
the
beer.
beer.
You know.
We well, after you get after that first step, we were talking about like getting a carboy. Next step might be getting like 10 other friends and filling a
Like
full-size
James?
barrel.
Oh,
Doing a Solera program, which I see is in our notes here.
Oh, that would be a
Like
great
the
idea.
Solera thing too, like you're saying with the barrels. I mean, part of that too. I think a general concept is like you don't always have to do this with a barrel. If you're starting off with some wood that has bugs in it, that's a lot. That's the concept of the Solera in the first place. Is that all of them have the aged beers in it. They all have the bugs in it, and you keep transferring over, and over time, like you blend these together. Well, I mean, you could sort of do that on the other level with a little bit of additional wood and glass or stainless if you had to.
Sure.
And that's kind of I'm kind of doing that kind of thing. Same thing that James did and Adam did. I've got one of the gallon jars we sell at the shop, and I have been collecting all the expired sour yeast, the blends. I don't typically use any of the traditional sack yeast, but if there's Brett's, if there's Lambic, if there's lacto, sours, all that goes into a jar, and then I've got some of the honeycomb barrel pieces.
Do you poop in there?
No, I don't.
I actually had multiple mason jars that I would like clean, flame out, everything like that, just completely do like a scorched earth sort of thing on. And those guys got different blends, different labels on them, and it was sort of just like where I pulled it from, kept all the yeast. It was all cataloged, not like in a database system, but just sort of where I knew where I pulled it from on top of that jar. And I would use French oak chips most of the time, and I would just pull from one to the other to use if I was like, hey, I don't think this one tastes right. I want to use more of this flavor profile. Those oak chips would go into a different beer. I would do like a straight up Belgian double that I just fermented with Brett Brooks, and I liked it better when I used the French oak chips that I had from a like Warhead sour just to give a bit of tartness to it. And you just never know. Like you kind of just got to play with stuff. Like. And the other thing too is don't be afraid to do Brett beers at home. Like home brewers shouldn't be afraid of Brett. Like it's just another yeast.
It's not bugs.
You got to be careful. But I mean, it can do some stuff, but just clean. Like if you're clean, just like we always say, we're clean at our brewery. There's a reason why we don't have.
What you really got to worry about.
When he says clean, like glass carboys, not using bungs that you're using for clean and for.
I use plastic. I'm just saying.
You said bungs.
Well, not going back and forth.
But they wouldn't share. Yeah.
Well, he's talking about
just like James and that
that's
mic.
specific
Wouldn't
to a
share.
certain.
Yes,
you know,
with James.
certain bad.
Which beer is this?
The Pez
probably
beer?
suspicious
Yes.
delicious.
Suspicious
So
delicious.
Suspicious Lucy, by the way, has a lot of melanoidin. Just so you know.
Yes, it does. So,
All right, we're pulling this over here now.
I can never say that fast.
Where
Listen to
is
saying.
some more of this? Because
this beer,
No one can do any more of what James does. With
I have another bottle in the car if you'd like it.
gone.
yes.
yeah, it's all gone.
No, I do. I always have a cooler full of beer in the car, so if anybody
Yeah,
sees
this is
me,
freaking awesome. Just saying.
Yeah, this is one of my
it's
favorite beers you
fantastic.
guys make.
If
for
anybody
sure.
sees me, I always have a cooler of beer.
My two favorite beers you guys make is this one and Urban Funk. Those are my two favorites.
See, that is
love
the
Urban
one
Funk
thing.
House. No, I haven't.
Urban Funkhouse is probably one of the best beers we've ever made, and continuously from batch to batch. It varies, especially because we use different barrels. We blend different batches. We've done blend 3, 5, and 7, now 8, which is about to come out in barrels. In bottles, we've done different.
Come out in barrels. I'll take one.
We've done different
the
blends
straw,
each
please.
time. The last one, the last number 7, we actually bottle conditioned with honey. We do it different every time. So every batch, just check the label on the back and see what batch it comes with. And I don't know what it
There's
is.
nothing to reference that against. But
No, but just of which batch it is. So if you're trying them side by side, we actually did a vertical in North Texas Beer Week where we had 3, 5, and 7 side by side that you could try. But it's probably one of the.
oh no, that's been sitting out warm a little too long.
It's been.
Gotcha.
It's definitely one of the best beers we've made, and for some
James,
reason,
that's a gusher.
it's not.
all over your face.
It's not very widely. I'm not
Get
gonna.
some toilet paper.
I'm not gonna say accepted. It's just.
I was going to take that home.
It's a saison.
It
Use
doesn't.
that for his
It doesn't
butt.
sell as good as the
I'm gonna need
Saison.
all of that toilet paper tomorrow.
Or the
when I
sour.
have to drinking all this sour beer. I'm just saying.
Oh,
It's gonna be a fun day.
And
at
I got
the
some
fire
Tums
station.
too. Yeah.
It's always a fun day.
Yeah.
The last time we
That's
did
our
a sour
tart
beer podcast, I think we had 14 or 15 different
That was a
sour.
great night.
Like,
oh my
oh my
god!
Is that
God.
I
the
woke up
night you
about-
guys did with James?
Yeah,
Howitt?
yeah. And man, I'm telling you what, I woke up at 3:00 in the morning and just acid was gushing in
Might
my
as well
mouth.
pass a couple
I was
to
just
me
like,
right
oh
now.
my god, I was dying.
We did
Really?
a bottle share one day at
Really?
our place where we had over like 60 bottles of sour beer. That
Yeah,
was
I
the only
was
time it
there.
ever happened to me where I was just like, that was too much. But it wasn't until then where I was like, you know what? There's maybe just too much sour in this world. But it took a lot. I really believe that, when you really want to make sour beer, you just make sour beer and you drink sour beer.
Right.
You really,
But
really
you know,
meta.
you're speaking about that bottle share. I remember one of the ones that I went, the only one I got to go to. Did you actually use any dregs from any of the bottle shares for any beers? And like that's something that I think that a new sour brewer could think about doing. If you really like sours,
For sure.
you can find a list of the dregs that actually work, that aren't just another sack blend or something.
Yeah.
or other.
Yeah, we tried.
They weren't pasteurized. Did you get anything out of like a series of bottles that time?
No, we did like just sort the dregs, like the Brett beers from the sour beers, and we had 2 different Erlenmeyers, and nothing really came of those.
Nothing at all?
Nothing
Just
that
all felt
tasted
just
great.
okay.
I mean,
so we
that-
dumped it.
'Cause that was
with
a
us,
shit
it
ton of
didn't-
beer, man.
Yeah, with us
It
it
was like
didn't,
75-ish beers that day.
with us it didn't work, but not saying it won't work.
No,
Right,
for
because
sure.
I know people have
It was
done
just
it,
that night.
And
Yeah.
like you said, Greg, you got to pay attention to which dregs you're trying to collect
Right,
because
'cause
some
they
of them
don't all, they're
right,
not
and some
all
of them
that
are
way.
pasteurized,
Some
and
of
so
them are
there's going to be
wine
dregs in there, but they're not viable dregs anymore.
Right, like I said, my best results for sour beer came out of 2 bottles, just 2 bottles. It wasn't trying to get 17 different bottles. It was just one that said it had Brett, one that said it had some sour blend in it, and I used those
Right.
2. And then for a solid 2 years, I was just making sour beer out of those until one day it just
Right.
was incredibly sour.
Yeah, it all kicked
And
up
that
to the
pellicle
right
would
area,
not go
yeah.
away, and that beer was just too sour. And I was
Right.
like, all right, maybe I hit my max reach.
That could be another thing to go with like a Solera project where you're pulling a little bit off and you're adding a little bit more work to it. That way you keep it going constantly actually in with beer as opposed to just pulling the yeast off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's
That's-
always going to grow more, like you guys at your stage, you have a barrel, and the barrel is the starter for something that's a multi-barrel project,
Right.
right? So,
Correct.
I mean, especially for a photo, so.
I would love to see the dregs at the bottom of our fooder right now. 'Cause we've never completely emptied it, so it's got to be. It went from a pitch that was,
Jeez.
like
Jar size?
a couple of softballs.
yeah, like that
and
slamming door.
now it's got to be like 4 inches thick, 6 feet
Oh, wow.
around. I don't know. That's my
Nice.
best guess.
Yeah, so it's probably like 2 inches thick by 3 feet by his math.
By his meth?
Math.
Meth?
My meth.
Yeah, guy math.
Meth?
Guy meth.
Math.
He doesn't share his meth.
Hey, don't meth with meth.
What are we pouring over here,
I got busted for drinking. I told my buddy I wasn't
Belgian
going to drink,
quad.
and he heard me talking about beer. So, yeah, well, you know.
Busted.
I did stop taking the pills a little while back, so I'm
Well,
okay.
there you go. That's what
Yeah,
Uber's
yeah.
for, right?
Would you guys...
Awesome.
I want to ask if you guys would have, for a beginner on a program, or at least let's say an experienced brewer who's going to start delving in. What about when you start feeling like your blend or whatever you were working with might be going out of bounds on one area or another? Like maybe your Brett's throwing too much Band-Aid, too many phenolics type of things, or whatever, or maybe you're maybe it's just way too sour, like the pH has dropped way too much in a beer. Do you have any concept maybe about fixing something in that, or do you think you should just start over, like as at home anyway?
You could, like if you're going way too sour, you could up the hopping dose to kind of inhibit some of that lacto, and you're kind of delay your PDO a bit, which will self-delay anyway. But upping your hop dose would be, and we've done it, is a really good way to kind of try and dial back your acidity. And then as far as like the phenolics go, usually when we hit phenolics, it's something that's not well temperature controlled. So something like our Urban Funk House is a stack of 14 barrels, and sometimes we'll hit a phenolic barrel, and that's usually the barrel that gets the hottest. Something that's been like up
When
at the
you're
top
saying
of the
phenolic,
stack,
you're
or
talking like plastic or like
plastic,
spicy?
Band-Aidy, sometimes an unpleasant clovey character,
Maybe close to a window that got a little bit too much sun.
something like that. So, watch your temperature control, and
What range do y'all like to keep your stuff in?
we keep it at ambient, but our ambient is like 69, 70 in the brewery. So
The Urban
cheap,
Funk
right?
House.
it's cheap. Yeah, it's cheap with
Mike
16
almost got a finger chewed
foot
off
ceiling
the same, I
heights. And
So my friend James says when you want to clean out the foeder, he'll bring some mason jars and collect some yeast.
sure, when we clean
I
out
got
the
dibs.
fooder, I'll invite.
He just really needs like
everybody over.
one mason jar. I mean, that's about it.
This one mason jar.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's
Well,
for you, buddy.
Hey, buy a bottle of Dream Folk, and then you can have the culture for free.
You hear that,
Right there.
James? There you go.
Not free.
Absolutely.
Right around $15.
Well, okay, $15 yeast.
Hey,
Hey, and then you get to get drunk too.
It's
Yeah, the
seasoned.
beer's the
we
beer's
pre-season
beer's
the
free.
drinks.
Right?
You support a local brewery.
So also one thing we keep talking about Urban Funk House. I don't know if it got mentioned or not
It's
earlier.
Urban Fun Cows.
Funk Cows.
Fun.
Did I say it right that time? Fun
Fun
Cows.
cows.
Fun Cows.
Fun Cows. It's
So
a milk saison.
yes. so that beer actually it 100% ferments in those wine barrels too. Like we literally have to clean up all the yeast off the floor that's fermented out of the top of those barrels. Like it goes into that barrel.
Uncontrolled. Completely.
Everything about it. So it
No
literally-
adult supervision.
Nothing about it.
Gotcha.
Like trust me, even after we think it's done fermenting in the barrels, and we take it out of the cellar and we put it up on the racks on the hallway.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay.
And I have to go clean that mess up a week later when it starts kicking off again because for some reason it decided to do it on top of the rack in the middle of the hallway, and we have to go scoop that stuff up. Like it
Yes, he
ferments
does.
100% in those barrels.
That's just crazy.
So
Yeah, so pretty much after we choose the barrels that we're going to blend, we start the brew cycle and transfer the beer out of the barrels at the same time so we can brew right back into those barrels that same day,
yeah.
keeping it fresh and clean, and not clean, but fresh and
Keep them from drying out.
fresh and wet.
fresh
Yeah.
anyway.
So clean,
Fresh,
clean.
yeah.
So James, did you do any wood aging in your homebrew sours?
Again, the wood aging I did was I just basically bought oak chips here at Stubby's and
Stubby's Texas
yeah,
Brewing.
but it was
Inc.
called. I think it's called Texas Brewing Inc. now. Back when I knew it, I was just called it Stubby's all the time.
Yeah, well,
Well,
sorry.
it's technically Stubby's.
I was
but
trying
yeah,
to talk
Stubby's,
fast. and
Stubby's,
I,
No, you suck, Pete.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we. I basically just bought a bunch of oak chips and kept throwing them into all of my sour projects. Every time anything fermented, it just got more oak chips in it, and so oak chips kind of came with everything. That's kind of how I did it.
Ryan.
Well, and I think wasn't that what Adam? Adam. If you know Adam,
he's doing.
He's worked at Jester King
Yeah.
for a while, and,
Yeah.
and one of the things he did was he kind of cultured his own thing, and kind of like what you did, James, and he did like what do you just put like a spiral in there, and he would just like transfer it from.
He's doing
deal to
kind
deal.
of like
He
what I
called
was
it a
playing-
mother. That's what I
Right,
remember.
yeah.
It sounded almost
His
like he was
mother.
making kombucha. That's what I thought was
Yeah,
funny. He
yeah.
kept calling it the mother, and it was this giant mason jar full of shit. And I was like, that actually tastes really good. I'm surprised it tastes so good.
That's kind of where I got the idea. And
You
he-
say shit lovingly, right?
yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It was
So-
delicious. I loved all of Evan's beers. Like, I
Yeah, you
think they
should
were
put
great.
you should put your culture together with Adam's, and maybe it'd taste something great.
My culture is stuck in a carboy for about almost 16 to 18 months now, and it still doesn't look and it tastes right. So I don't know.
yeah.
I
Is
think
it
I might have run
sick?
it raw.
Is it ropey?
Like a typical
It
Gone
just-
Pro
it's-
brewer. I
it's-
stopped dealing with anything at home.
No,
anymore.
I still have like 4 carboys literally with pellicles on them, and all of them are just kind of going by the wayside. I think I ran everything too hard and just too long, and it's just not.
So
I-
back to what Greg said.
You just beat
Right.
it like a rented mule, didn't you?
basically, yeah, no. That's why I was like talking to
Grain
Stubby a minute ago. I was
pours.
like, I think I'm gonna make wine this summer because this sour beer stuff, man. I'm gonna do it at work.
like I'm
Don't
just,
get Brett and wine; it really jacks it up. I'm just saying.
No way, dude. I
Natural
had
wine.
some. I had some. 2 or 3 months ago at a Funkin' Sour Fest. That
Yeah,
wine
the
was
natural
super,
wine.
At
The
a
natural
what
wine
Sour
was delicious.
Fest?
Funkin' Sour Fest.
Oh,
It was a.
Well, you
right
said
from
it so fast, it just kind of
yeah
rolled right off the tongue.
How did you learn how to talk so fast? I'm just asking.
I'm just a naturally
breathes
gifted
while
human
he
being,
speaks.
man.
He's the son of the Micro Machines guy.
Hey, some people pretend. Some of us are the real thing.
Yeah, so Stubby, to answer your question earlier, that Adam was just using the barrel staves that we sell at the shop. He was cutting them in half, I
that's what was
believe,
thinking, yeah.
and he was telling people if you wanted some of his yeast, buy a barrel stay. He'd drop it in the jar, and then in a week he'd give it back to you with
His
some
blend,
of the,
yeah.
some of the blend, and there it's inoculated. So that's where I got the idea for my honeycombs, and
Well,
it's
it is
ripe
good.
and ready to use.
It's
I just
forever
need to brew
changing
something.
too. Though.
Yeah,
That's the thing. It's a living, breathing organism.
Adam-
I mean, really.
Adam won for some of those beers too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like, he won.
I
He
think so.
placed
Yeah.
awards. Like,
Yeah.
I swear to God, like that. His mother that he called. I say mother because he kept calling it mother.
Yeah.
His mother was fantastic. Like that yeast would produce.
his mother was fantastic.
Okay.
I'm calling mine my amalgamation.
I literally just said mother with quotes. And
Yeah.
You're on the
was-
radio.
Yeah, quotes, radio quotes.
Radio
It
quotes.
works.
Hey, just let's
works.
keep Adam's
All
mother
right, give
off
me
the
some more
street,
beer. Where's
okay?
more beer? I need more beer. I'm getting jittery. I need beer.
Getting jittery.
Yes, there we go.
Does
That's-
anybody
that's
want me to
constant,
go out to the
so-
car and grab another suspicious bottle?
No,
Yeah.
no,
You should. You
no.
know what you should grab
I want
too?
to take that
you
home
should grab
with
an
me.
end of the week.
Definitely leave this
End of the
microphone. I need it.
I can grab some end of the week.
Dude, you
End
could,
of the week
you
is a
could-
non-sour from the brewery.
Dude, you could
it is
totally, like,
fantastic. How big is that?
You
as
could
far
totally
as I
like have
know?
your own podcast with just you, bro.
20
Have you
and a half
thought about
Play-Doh?
doing auctions?
Yes.
Nobody can
It's
handle
a
that.
beast of a beer. It's fantastic.
Thought about being an auctioneer.
That's our
Dude, you could
I
totally
mumble
be
a lot.
You missed your calling, bro.
Yeah, like I said, have you
missed
thought about
your
being an
freaking
auctioneer?
calling.
I mumble way too much, which is why I tried early on not to be on the mic, and now I feel like
He
I'm,
is an
I'm
auctioneer.
constantly getting on the mic, and I shouldn't be on the mic. You need your keys.
You should like be on the mic, and you shouldn't be on the mic, and blah 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 blah.
You should
He
be on
said
the
like
mic.
15
I tried.
things
I
in
tried.
three
be on the
seconds.
mic.
I tried
You
really
should
hard,
just-
and now it's all falling apart, Ryan.
And then Mike just left.
You should just breathe every once in a while.
You're not going to get
falling
any
apart.
support from me, buddy.
Oh, Brandon, we're here right now. He's
He's
struggling
steaming.
to the
He's
ground.
steaming
Uh,
right now.
there
Yeah.
he is.
So we want to know about your problem with Brandon, because we talked about this a lot of times on the podcast.
Yeah.
All right.
My problem
Exactly.
with Brandon?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have a
yeah,
problem with
so-
Brandon.
What is your
Yeah.
problem with Brandon?
So what we hear
Seriously.
is that
You have
you
beef?
really get upset with him because he wears sweatpants to
Oh
brew.
God, no!
He does.
It's
he does.
gross because when we brew, I'm like, you do have underwear on underneath those sweatpants, right? Like, I'm just worried.
Why do
like,
you even wonder about that?
because he hangs out with me for like 8 hours while we're brewing, and he's got sweatpants on. I'm like,
But why are you going there?
Do you
Because
even
I'm going to his house. We're brewing in his garage. We're brewing on this sweet setup. Like it's
so
an
you're
awesome
at his place where he wants to be comfortable.
in his man cave, and you're asking him about his undies?
Why are you visualizing the man out of his undies?
Because whenever we're standing there, and like he's stirring the pot, and I'm just like, this is disgusting. And then he makes a joke where he's like, he quotes some kind of comic thing where he's like, I'm doing this and she's doing that, and he looks at me and smiles. I'm like,
You're thinking about
this is awkward.
Sweaty balls.
So you're thinking about his balls.
You're thinking about sweaty balls.
He's making me think that because he's obviously
He's making you think about his sweaty balls.
Why does Brandon talk about his sweatpants on this
I don't-
podcast?
I don't
I'm also trying to figure out. Like, now you guys are making a meme about it. Why is he bringing this up? Like,
No, he goes, man, James always gets pissed at me because I
always wear sweatpants.
And he
I'm
gets
going
mad
to
at
tell you
me.
this, too. In my opinion,
I
too,
brewed
sweatpants
comfort.
mean you gave up on life, just so you know. I'm just saying that. Like, sweatpants means you gave up on life. I don't wear sweatpants. I don't think I've died yet. I'm just saying, like, sweatpants might as well be buried in those things. Like, you gave up on life.
You know, we are in our 40s now, so yeah, we've given up on life.
Okay, cool. I'm not. I'm 34.
Yeah.
I still choose to wear clothes as opposed to sweatpants, which... that's fucking pajamas. It's pajamas, man. Those are
Okay,
pajamas.
walked into the wrong part of that.
Yeah, Mike wears sweatpants sometimes. It creeps me out.
Nothing wrong.
Because Mike scratches
something
a lot.
creepy.
Yeah, Mike likes to be like, oh, hey,
Something
like this?
creepy about sweatpants, man.
What?
I mean, I'm just saying.
It's you. It's not me. It's you. You're the weird one.
I wore sweatpants at the fire station the other day. It was like the best 6 hours of my life.
I stopped wearing
Yeah.
sweatpants.
It's
To
great.
I stopped wearing sweatpants to the brewery when we started distribution.
Yeah.
Or distributing, I should
Just
say.
you, Ryan. Just you at the fire station, all free balling there in your sweatpants. Right?
Well, I wasn't free balling, but
Ryan's a firefighter every third day. Ryan has a valid excuse. He actually works out and does things. Like, that's not the thing. You don't just hang out around in sweatpants.
no, I was hanging out around in sweatpants. We were smoking cigars. It was really cold in the dorm room.
You're still on ship.
wore
You're still
sweatpants.
you're still a firefighter at those points.
So it's really cold. You don't have to worry about wearing no
Yeah,
undies
I'm
and
supposed
sweatpants,
to.
right?
Austin wants everyone to know that Brandon loves Coors Light.
Oh yeah, Brandon does love Coors Light.
Just
I
so
guarantee
everybody
you.
knows.
Hey, we brewed a Coors Light beer one time, or a Coors Original one time, because of Brandon. Brandon likes
You
Coors
can, you can take that. That's for you. You can take that.
Thank you.
Also, Mike stopped
That's
wearing
awesome.
sweatpants when they started distributing, and he stopped wearing pants altogether. So
Yeah.
Right now, he has no pants.
No
on.
pants.
No
Those
pants
are
on.
CGI pants you're seeing on him.
I actually paint them on.
It's very expensive.
It's,
Very
it's-
expensive
It's
podcast.
very hipster. You just paint your pants on.
By the way, Brandon, I miss you.
Yeah, where's Brandon? Is he in Arkansas?
He's
for
in
Brandon,
real?
Arkansas.
are you in Arkansas right
He's
now?
probably got his sweatpants on.
The one day
he
I'm
is
here,
watching-
Brandon, and you're not here.
He's actually watching now. So
Hey, have you been to
blow-
Walmart?
blow him a kiss.
Sweatpants are common.
Okay, so
And they're
cheap too. James,
So Brandon's at Walmart, or is that
James,
what you
you have a bird living in your beard, and you're talking crap about his sweatpants.
Where's a bird? I don't see a bird.
That's from Brandon.
Oh, straight from Brandon.
I just want to know how many snacks do you put in there at work?
Your beard looks better than mine, dude.
I
Don't
know.
talk about beards.
This is where I hide snacks at work. Okay, hello.
I don't have to hide snacks. We just have food all the time. Like, we just eat.
Yeah, we had a bit of Heim barbecue today. That was awesome.
It was
Damn
sweet.
Nice.
Still haven't been.
Should
Hyman?
go.
Brandon
You
is
should
in hot
really
You
go.
guys
springs.
are actually gonna have a
You should
pitmaster
go.
event.
Yeah. This
What you gonna do?
The 28th.
the 28th, not this Saturday. But
Yeah,
next
28th
Saturday.
from 11 to 2.
there
Travis
tickets
is
left?
coming out. And what?
Are there tickets left?
I don't know. Look online.
Probably less than 10.
Brandon, I was
Yeah,
defending
very,
you.
very few.
likely not going to. This part won't make it up by the 28th. The Facebook Live right now, if you're paying attention, buy the tickets.
Yeah, buy the tickets.
Yeah,
Facebook.
so he's coming out. We're doing some pairings with some beer. You get beers to drink. You get barbecue to eat, and you get to learn some tricks of the trade. Hopefully, so you can make something good for Super Bowl. That's the whole key.
All right, so guys, tell us how to find out about your brewery if you're in Fort Worth, because now we have. Here's the great thing about the podcast and now we're doing. Believe it or not, our jackassery have made it around the world. So
Yeah.
shut the
Front door.
So if people are in Fort Worth, tell us how they can find you. Tell us about your tap room hours, all that good stuff. So
Yeah, come check us out on social media. That's usually the best way. So Instagram is at CBP Fort Worth. Same with Twitter. And then we're on Facebook, so just search Collective Brewing Project, not Collective Arts Brewing. That's a Canadian brewery.
Or Collective Community. What is it? The other one?
Yeah, we're not Community Beer Company, even though we love those guys.
Yeah, man. My old man gets that confused all the time. He goes, "Were you at the Community?" And I'm like, "No, I was at Collective." Oh.
Yeah,
I thought it was Collective.
I
thought it was Community.
Should I tell about the best mess up with?
Go for it.
Well, it was
I believe
quick
in it.
one.
Don't use a name. Just tell the story.
We just interviewed for some sales reps, and I got a call. Hey, I'm at the wrong place. Turns out we hit up Alex over at Community, like, hey man, are you working today? He goes, yeah, and someone just came in here asking for Goldfuss for an interview. He went to Community for the interview instead of the Collective.
So he got the
So
job.
how did it turn out?
So I'd like to introduce you to our new sales rep.
James.
Flood District.
CollectiveBrew.com.
The address is 112 St. Louis Avenue.
You could
we
walk
are
there from
just
downtown.
Yeah, if anybody is out in Dallas way, you can actually take the train out. It stops at TMP Tavern.
Yeah,
You
TMP
can
Tavern,
walk.
and you can walk across.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You can
Walk.
go to TMP Tavern. You can walk across. There's actually the bike share that's right there as well. So
Yep.
if you want to go anywhere else in Fort Worth, you can always just grab one of those bike shares and take
You know,
it.
I never
Right
thought
by.
about
An
that,
excellent
but
first
that is
stop
a
at
that is a
Southside,
great
so.
point that you guys can take the train all the way to the TMP and just get out.
Yep.
And if you
And walk
want to
right
have a
across.
beer at the TMP, you can, and then you can come over and have a couple beers at you guys' place.
Right.
That's easy within walking distance. I mean, it's literally what, maybe 200-300 yards.
Oh,
out
not
the back
even.
of the-
Yeah.
Not even.
And then
Yeah,
from
yeah.
our place, you could go walk to Hop Fusion.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
really
Yeah, you
close,
could do
too.
that too.
You can see our sign from the back parking lot of the TMP Tavern. Like you can
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
see our brewery
The
from the
TMP
parking
parking
lot.
lot, yeah.
Yeah.
It's close.
So even if you're staying in Dallas and you want to catch a train over on the Trinity River, you could do that, and that'd be a great. And one of the things I always try to kind of preach to people that one of the things that's cool about the podcast and people are hardcore beer aficionados is that when you come into town, these are great places to go and visit, and I'm sure you guys get people from out of town all the time. I'm sure that's a regular thing for you guys. So one of the things that a lot of people hit the Dallas brew scene. If you're in Dallas, you can still take the train over and hit a couple breweries just from the train. You've got, within walking distance, you could do Hop Fusion, RAR, and you guys, all
Yeah.
within
Yep.
walking distance.
The ride back from
And
Fort
so-
Worth's better
You might
than
be
the ride
walking
back
a
from
little
Dallas,
crooked at
too,
the
so-
end,
yeah.
but
We're talking about the Trinity Rail Express. That's a train that goes from Fort Worth to downtown
TRE.
Dallas. It connects with the Dallas DART rail system. It connects with the Dallas bus system, and it follows the Trinity River all the way down to downtown Fort Worth.
And it's not that
Or-
bad of a drive either.
No,
Lots of
it's
Dallas
not.
people bitch
Or
about like,
TRE.
Fort Worth so far. It's just Fort Worth.
It's
People bitch about
a
the Dallas
30,
drive,
45 minute
so,
train
yeah.
ride. It's great.
Yeah.
Also, too, on my birthday the last 2 years, my wife and I, we get on our bikes. Like we literally park at our place. We hop on our bikes,
said it.
bicycles, by the way, bicycles, not bikes, bicycles, and we go to 5 breweries in a day in Fort Worth, and they're all within about a mile and a half of each other. You
Right.
can hit us, Hop Fusion, Martin House, Wild Acre, RAR. You can hit 5 breweries. Chimera's around the corner.
Sick.
Panther Island, yeah.
Seven.
Panther Island's a little bit more farther north. We chose not to go
You
through
can do
downtown
that.
to get to that
Yeah.
because it seemed a little dangerous after the 4th brewery. But we did decide to go back to our place and then just hang out there for a minute. But yeah, no, I mean, like we have 4 to 5 breweries right now, like all within about a mile and a half of
We
each
knew-
other.
you-
If
And
you
the
guys
great
wanna
thing is
start
they're
on a
all
day,
very-
they do
And I'd like to see
yoga.
more, honestly. Like I would love
can-
the idea of just having a fully loaded brewery kind
You
of
can
area.
do it. You can take the train. You can ride your bike to the train, take the TRE Express to Dallas, and you can hit. There's 4 or 5 breweries that you can hit over in Dallas. The people in Dallas can do the exact same thing. They could ride their bikes to I don't know where the station is in Dallas, but you can get on the train.
Probably Victory
It's
Station.
probably
yeah.
Victory. I think.
and you can even bring your bikes
yeah, you
on
can
the
take
train.
the train
Yeah.
with your bike, come to Fort Worth on a Saturday morning, and like James said, you can
Do some
hit
yoga.
all these breweries.
Just make sure that
And,
you know the,
yes.
the return time and when the last
Right.
train leaves, because you don't.
You know,
wanna
I
be
think that's
caught.
the biggest problem with the TRE is the return time.
It's like 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it sucks.
We used to do the homebrew club. I know you were there.
Yeah.
You were there, Stubby.
Yeah,
we used to
we
do
did
the
it.
whole train thing. Like I remember
It's coming
my
back this
first
year, baby.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
This year, yeah.
I remember the first year I ever joined the homebrew club. We did the train out to Dallas. We rode all the way through all that stuff and everything. My wife was like, "It's too hot to be out here. Why are we doing this?" And then I stayed longer, and then it was good. It was good times. So we used to do that whole train hopping thing and go out to all the bars in Dallas because we were a Fort Worth club.
Yeah,
We'll do it again
it's
now that
happening.
you're not.
It's
in the
happening
club
this year,
doing
baby.
anything, but you know.
Yeah, you
And
can
then
still-
I know Dallas Brew Scene is doing a the Dallas
Beer
Brew
bus,
Bus
yeah.
beer bus out to us and Hop Fusion. I'm not sure the exact date. Does anybody
This
I think
week.
it's
I
this
don't know.
weekend, yeah.
this weekend
I think it's sold out.
cool. Well, never mind. So
So
You
don't
guys need to
that.
do like a milk stout throwdown between the two of you.
Yeah,
Just have a bunch
for
of
sure.
people show up for that. Because they're both fantastic. You know, the end of the week and First Slipper, and just like have a bunch of people come
You
out
know,
and
yeah.
throw down on
So
that.
that's the thing. I
The
don't-
temptress, you know.
But
At
see,
the
that's
end
the
of
thing,
it,
though.
it doesn't matter. No one's going to know anything because they're all going to be senseless and drunk.
Well, and that's the thing, though, for us. Like that's my whole point. Like I would love to have more breweries in our neighborhood because all it means is we make a destination point. Like I went to Asheville, North Carolina, about a year and a half
Right.
ago, and there were more breweries than Starbucks. That was incredible to me because around the corner there was another brewery. You could walk a block and a half up, a block over here, walk 2 blocks that way. I would love to have.
beer.
I would love to have more breweries in our neighborhood because all
Yeah,
that means
it's
is
coming.
people.
It's coming.
People just show up and they wanna come and hang out and they want to see everything in the area. That just means
So
more,
if I
more
started
things.
a brewery, would you come hang out?
Absolutely. I mean, if my wife let me.
You have a hard time getting rid of him.
You know, it's fun times. You know, hey guys, thank you guys for coming out tonight. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks
I mean,
for having us.
we really
Yeah,
enjoyed
man.
it. Hopefully, you guys got some insight on to maybe starting your own sour beer program at home. One of the great things about you know, our community here is that we're able to we're all interconnected. All of these guys, you know, they either shopped at the store, or they started here, or homebrew club members, and you know, we're all fighting the good fight, all trying to make better beer, all trying to make you know,
Money.
something different. Well, you know,
Oh, no.
it is what it is. But
No.
the fact of the matter is you know, we really want to help you guys make better beer, and that's ultimately, you know, our goal here.
That's really the bottom
is-
line.
Yeah, and we want a different option than just drinking the yellow fizzy beer. We want to try some other things, you know. So, thank you guys for coming out. You guys have always been a great help and insight to our community here, and you know, I mean, you guys have anything else you would like to say before we leave here, or?
the end of the week.
Thanks for having us.
Somebody does.
James does.
If
of
you
course.
have any questions about anything we talked about, feel free to email us.
Yeah, give us your email address. man.
I'd go for info that hits the most people. info@collectivebrew.com.
Yeah, great,
And,
fantastic.
You know,
And
somebody
then-
will respond.
And
hopefully.
we also love. Now we're not always there. We work a lot, so we're there early in the morning till late at night working. Sometimes during tap room hours, we're not going to be there. But stop.
Shut up!
But
I've seen you there lots of times.
sometimes
Whatever.
I'm saying sometimes, but no, come on by. Bring some beer to share. We'll share some beer with you.
Well,
So-
and I think you would probably be, you know, if you guys, if people were really nerdy and like hardcore homebrewers and sour brewers, as long as they gave you a heads up, you'd probably be there, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you'd
yeah,
be
let
willing
us
to,
know.
like,
Hit us up. We'll meet you.
or
I
at
mean, I
least
got-
you would at least tell them what day you're
They
going
are
to be
a brew
there,
club.
right?
Yeah, for sure.
So-
Which you can actually, if they're going to ask you to bring beer in, you can bring it.
Yeah,
in.
you can
So,
even bring beer in
Texas.
to share with these guys because I know they like that, right?
Yeah, we do bottle shares at the
Don't just
brewery
show
all
up
the time.
with your own beer and hang out at the place without, you know, talking to them about it. But yeah,
No, well, so with everybody probably is listening to this podcast in this area, you are beer people. You want to experience some good beer. So we do have a bottle share that we're trying to do every so often. It's not like a public event that we invite everybody to. But if you come in, you talk to us, you meet us, and become friends with us, then we can all like share those events with you, where then we can all talk on more of a personal level as opposed to as opposed to something
Well, and
else.
I think that's the coolest thing, and that's what I try to explain to people a lot of times about the homebrewing community is that, you guys, we were all friends before you guys ever started a brewery, or before, and a lot of us were friends, but even before I started this store. And, that's the cool thing about this whole community is that, whether we're homebrewers or we're craft brewers or we happen to be in the supply industry, we all kind of have common threads, you know what I mean? So, that I think that's one of the coolest things about this whole movement of craft beer is that we all kind of share the same, the same thread.
Common threads is getting good beer into everyone's hands. That's the thread.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I still remember back working over at Martin House, and end of a tour, I hear the cooler door open and then shut. I'm like, what in the hell? I go around the corner and open the door, and there's two guys standing there looking around, pointing at stuff. And I walk in. I'm like, hey guys, you can't be in here. And they're like, no, we're just we're gonna be we're looking about starting a brewery in this town, and the market is like very slow. Like you guys are behind everyone. Like you're like brewery per capita, and we think this would be a great place to open a brewery. And it's like, leave. Like, get out of here. Like you think you can just walk into someone else's brewery and open their door and just start poking around, and just because you can make a buck because the beer in this area isn't predominant?
Yeah.
You can get shot here in this town for that. I'm just saying.
Pretty much.
Anybody's wondering, don't do that shit.
Anybody ever ask you if you have a case of the Mondays? No.
No, man. Shit, no, man.
You walk into somebody's place like that, they're going to get a case of the ass with you, and then it's going to be over.
Doing the drywall at
anyway,
McDonald's down in Las Colinas.
Well, one thing I would say though,
Peterman,
thank you,
Channel 9.
The breast exam.
Thank all you guys. Thank all of you guys for listening to Come and Brew It Radio. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
The one thing that does keep us going is all of you guys out there that help us with different episodes, helping us give us different ideas, and also supporting the store. We love hearing your comments when you're placing your orders at txbrewing.com. And, we have lots of people, hey, man, thanks for the podcast. We love hearing those things. So, help us keep us doing what we're doing. We got over 80,000 listeners now in 40 different countries. That's pretty amazing for a bunch of country bumpkins here like us in Texas.
Yeah.
I'm not a country bumpkin.
Hell yeah.
But anyway.
And if you want to just donate cash, well, you can do that too.
Yeah. Donate cash.
Yeah.
Or you can just send us beer. We're okay with you just
GoFundMe.
sending us beer.
Yeah.
Our
beer
address
donations
is
are always
5200
welcome.
Airport Freeway,
I love
Haltom
trading.
City, Texas.
I love trading.
Sweet A.
76117. So, anyway.
One last thing. Brett does not make beer sour, just so everyone understood that from this whole thing, because I feel like it's still always something that no one understands. Brett does not make beer sour.
It makes it funky.
Okay.
That's absolutely right and fine. Does not make beer sour. Brett does not make sour beer.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Brett does not make beer sour. It's very.
Thank you guys for joining.
Thanks a lot.
And until next time,
Come
and
and brew it.
Hey.
Woo.
Come and brew it.
Come and brew it.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, my ears were starting to hurt.